Tesla is having a
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Sovereign Citizen Watch. How's everyone doing? Hope your week's going well. Almost the weekend for everyone. At least it's 5 o'clock right now, so for everyone that works weeks, should be the weekend for you. Very nice. Hey, Nemesaur, Harold Doubleman, how's it going? Mr. Blast, Amalgamane, Felix, Bumble Homestead, Phoenix Leftist, how is everyone doing? Lilac Rosenberg with a link to this TikTok about Tesla.
terrible week, and not just for one reason, but 5. Number 1 is that 2 important people have left the company. Mark Lupke, who was head of operations for the
It makes me so sad that Elon turned out to be a scumbag, exactly like I expected.
Cybercab, which is another sign that that project...
Do you guys remember how many years ago I was shitting on Elon? I was way ahead! I got a vibe on that guy so long ago.
Is not going well at all. And then also Jose del Corral, who was head of product and customer experience. And these are just the latest two in what has basically been an exodus of top leadership from the company. In just the Cybercab program, there have been two other
Well, this is going. Rick M, thanks for 34 months, says I'll have to watch later. My mother is departing this mortal coil. I'm really sorry to hear about that. I hope that you get some time with her. Resting Stitch Face, thanks for a 20 stream streak, says, hello, cutie. Must be someone else here, because that ain't me. Demon Trigger with the 7-month streak says, I love Tesla.
executives that have left in the past 6 weeks. It is looking grim. Reason number 2 is that Tesla is sitting on 50,000 cars of unsold inventory, and this is a record for them. Basically what's happening is they are producing way too many cars compared to what they're selling, and they used to be really good at getting this right. Which is partially because of reason number 3, that sales have declined 16% in China in Q1, which is a massive drop for their most important market. And this is all happening because Elon is doubling down on this idea.
Someone
that
open this
robots
can
are the
for
future.
me.
Basically, RoboCab drop as much as 60% in the coming months. And finally, number 5, Tesla has finally admitted that some of its robotaxis are piloted by humans. This happens when the cars are going less than 10 miles per hour. A human will sometimes take over for safer driving. And this is a big part of the reason why robotaxi has had a hard time scaling up, because they need human drivers in place. So this robotic future that Elon is betting the future of the company on is just smoke and mirrors. Tesla is having a terrible week, and not just for one reason, but 5.
Good fuck, Tesla. Let's see what else is going on. I think we got caught all up. Depraved Ambiance says you've got a gift. Your vibe detector is incredibly sensitive, and that's why I'm depressed all the time. Everyone's awful. Anyway, Generdy with the 70 stream streak says, to be fair, I'm late to stream, but why is Generic White Man number 3001 talking over the world's most boring stock car park footage, talking about how Tesla's not doing so good? Ryan Cooper with the $5 super chat says, did you see that Elon had SpaceX buy a ton of Cybertrucks to improve sales? I did see that. Everything's bullshit. Isn't it great? The entire market's just a game. And all the big players are cheating. Fun stuff. Anyway, Wannabe with a 40 stream streak says, I feel electrified after 40 in a row. Okay, let's see what we're gonna do first. Let's do this one. I want to see a smash. I think there's a smash in this one. Oh, I should do my stuff. If you're on YouTube, do me a favor, hit the like button. I'd appreciate it. Just hit the thumbs up. If you want to help support the stream financially so we can keep doing this, you can become a member on YouTube or use super chats on Twitch. If you want to support the stream, you can become a subscriber, gift subs, or bits. All right, let's jump into it.
Hello?
Yes. What is your emergency? How can I help you, sir?
I'm sorry?
What is your emergency? How can I help you?
I don't have an emergency. I'm pulling you over for a couple of reasons. Number one, the plate doesn't come back to anything.
Because it's a private vehicle, sir.
Okay. And secondly, you were doing 15 miles an hour on Plymouth Road, and you wouldn't...
How were you, sir?
Well, you weren't past me, and which is pretty suspicious, and you were holding up traffic
What is
behind
your
you, which is
reason why?
impeding.
I'll take your
Impeding
suspicion.
traffic.
I'm
Impeding traffic by going 15 and a 45.
You hear that, right?
I'm sorry,
Right.
40 miles an hour. 15 and a 40. That's impeding.
She's on FaceTime with someone, probably a sovereign citizen guru or a friend or family member that got her into this.
Traffic. Okay.
That's on in commerce, sir. I am not
Okay.
Going 30 miles below the speed limit is crazy.
operating in commerce.
Okay, I need your driver's license. I
am
need
not
vehicle registration.
operating in commerce.
Okay.
I do not consent.
I need your driver's license. This is a lawful stop. I need your driver's license. Are you refusing to give me your driver's license?
You hear this, Eric, right?
Are you refusing to give me identification?
I don't have
That is a misdemeanor
driver
offense.
license.
Okay, what is your name? You have to give me...
Speak to him.
I don't want to talk to him. He has nothing to do with this stop.
Are you recording?
He's
this?
not even here,
Record this.
okay?
Take the RO of this vehicle to the intersection of
I need your
Farmington and
identification.
Why do they think that they can have someone on the phone do the traffic stop for them? I've seen other sovereign citizens do this. You can't outsource the traffic stop. You can't phone a friend. It's not, I want to be a millionaire. Those aren't the rules.
Identifications now.
70511.
Ma'am, I need your identification. I don't care if you consent. You don't have to consent.
Here, please.
Okay.
I would imagine the dog will be okay.
Get your sergeant here. And why isn't your
6-3 from
camera
31.
on, sir?
It is on.
No, it's not. There's
See
no
that?
light.
See that red light on the top? It's on.
It's blinking.
Yeah, it blinks when it's on.
Got a sovereign citizen here. Doesn't want to.
That's kind of like we're recording symbol universally as a red light, whether it's blinking or not.
Requesting
But certainly blinking will do it.
supervisor.
Me sovereign citizen, Eric.
It's like those services in Japan that'll quit your job for you. Why would you hire someone for the funnest part of any job when you get to tell them you're leaving? What in the world? I'll take that job. That'd be a very fun job. Hey, I was hired to tell you guys that one of your employees fucking hates you and you all suck. They're not coming back in.
I need your identification.
Just clear the door.
I can't hear him regardless because you have the window up.
I operate a motor vehicle for hire or profit. I am not.
You're operating a motor vehicle on public roads?
The code goes for a commerce.
No. Okay. Tell me what code.
You are
Of course, she's incorrect about this. This is a standard sovereign citizen belief that codes don't apply to people like her, that they only apply to employees of the state or people who have contracted with the state. None of that's true. They, of course, apply to everyone.
violating every 28, 18, and 42 US code.
Right now, you are violating Michigan law.
That was the joke.
Okay?
Eric?
You need to identify yourself. You are failing to do so.
My name is Eva. Friends call me Eva. What is your...
I don't care what your friends call you. What is your first name? Look, you are making this way worse than it needs to
Why
be.
am I making
It's so depressing what happened to the Von Braun children after the movie ended.
this worse?
Because
you
you're
have
not-
no right to pull me over.
Actually, I have two
a
rights
right-
to pull you over.
No,
I
you
have
do
two legal reasons to pull you over.
What is your legal
You
reason?
do not have a valid plate on this car.
I don't have to.
You are
I'm
doing
operating
15 and a
in my
40, and you are
private
failing to identify
automobile.
yourself. You're going to make this a lot worse for yourself.
You hear this, Eric, correct?
You are going to make this much worse. You are going to be pulled out of this vehicle.
Just give me the ticket. I can handle the ticket.
What is your first name?
Eva, I already told you.
What is your last name?
I don't have a last name.
You don't have one. Okay. What is your birthday?
I don't know. I love when they claim they don't know their birth date.
Eric?
Because they don't remember. They weren't witness to it. They only have hearsay of when their birthday is. It was 15 and a 45. I don't know why she was going so slow. Maybe not paying attention. Maybe she was talking with the person she's on the phone with already before the stop. Maybe she's high. Maybe she was paying attention to her dog. No idea. Wannabe with 40 bits says in Japan you have to apologize to everyone and a bunch of other things or you could be turned down for employment at other places in Japan. Being autistic in Japan must be really hard. Because it feels like there's extra social rules. You know what I mean? Like, I struggle with American social rules, which seem relatively lax. I don't think I would do very well in a country with even more bullshit nonsense piled up on top that doesn't make any sense.
Oh, he's gonna pay for it.
Four's back here.
Give me the ticket, please.
I don't know anything.
And what is your
I can't
badge
give you a
number?
ticket
What is your
unless-
name and a badge number?
Grima, Grima, badge number 2081.
Can you write
Livonia
this down?
Police.
If the rules were rigid, you might do better. Only if they were explicitly explained to me. They can't be unwritten rules. This can't be a thing that everyone just knows or whatever, somehow. I have to be explicitly told.
Department.
201. What is your last name?
Grima, Grima.
GR. What is it?
Grima.
GRIMA.
Visible.
What's your badge?
How many times I gotta say it? I've said it about 3 or 4 times now.
Excuse me, you are a public servant, sir?
Yeah.
Thank you. You work for
Yeah.
me.
And
Thank you. What is your badge, sir?
I'm sorry?
What is your badge
I gave it to you
number?
3 times already.
No, you gave me 2 times.
I gave it to you 3 times already. I gave you my last name and badge number 3 times. I'm not going to stand here and repeat myself like a parrot.
Well, then you can leave. You dismissed.
Okay? No.
Wow, well, you're dismissed. I don't think that's ever worked for a sovereign citizen, but I appreciate throwing it out as a try. That's like a really hard dialogue check. You're dismissed.
Not at all. You have not identified yourself.
Thanks, Amalgamate.
You're making
I
this a lot worse.
have never heard that before, and I don't believe it.
Pulled from this vehicle. I'm going to break your window and pull you from this vehicle.
He's threatening me.
No.
He's threatening me. Hold on.
Only because I deserve it, depraved ambiance.
Jeez.
Oh! That's good. She has a little notice. I'm surprised she didn't tape that up first.
Okay.
What's it say?
That means nothing.
Oh, it means nothing. Good to know.
Tells me that means nothing. I gave him all the codes. They're codes.
Okay. That has nothing to do with you driving on the road.
Private.
That has no relevance to any of this.
Private. Please provide me with the deed of the state owning the roads.
Oh, you want me to provide the deed to the state? The
Telling
deed
me
to the
that
state?
those are state
Really?
roads.
Okay. All right.
Ma'am, I'm Officer James, okay? This doesn't work.
puppy.
I'm just gonna give you... Are you from Michigan?
No, I'm not.
Okay. Where are you from, ma'am?
Poland.
Poland.
Why you having like a Irish accent?
Scottish, but close.
Are you like you am?
No, I'm...
I'm sorry, why? She's asking why he has what she perceived to be an Irish accent? Ma'am, you also have an accent from somewhere. You said Poland, I believe. People from all over come to America. What a weird question.
a U.S. citizen, a member of this police...
What number, son?
Yeah, it's 2111.
2111.
Officer James. Okay. In the state of Michigan, by law, you have to provide a driver's license.
Oh, it's Michigan. Of course it's Michigan. My lovely home state that's turning into a tornado mecca suddenly.
Registration and proof of insurance.
First of all, we have a right to travel freely under the Constitution.
Okay. Not Michigan, okay? State law.
Yeah, not in every state.
Okay. Well, we'll see how that works out for you, okay?
There is something a little surreal and funny about two people who came to the United States and, like, became citizens arguing about the Constitution. It's a little funny. Of course, she's very wrong about it, and he's correct in this case. It's just a little funny.
We're just trying to make
Scottish. She thought Irish, he said Scottish.
this as easy as possible,
Give
ma'am.
me anything that I do with it, and you all gonna pay for it. I'll take your bond.
Okay. Okay.
Just give me the ticket.
Oh, we need to identify yourself first.
I already told you my name is.
We need your license, registration, and
I don't
insurance.
have an ID because I do not operate this number. I am not for hire.
Nobody's asking you for hire.
That's what
Driving is a
driver
privilege.
license
Driving
is.
is a privilege in the state, okay?
Exactly, driving for hire.
privilege.
I am not driving for hire. I'm
No,
traveling.
That makes no sense.
Driving on a public road in the state of Michigan is a privilege,
I am
not a
not
right. You are driving. You are in a
I
car.
am not driving.
You are
I'm
operating the
traveling.
vehicle on a public road.
I am not
You are
driving.
driving.
I'm traveling.
Okay. All right. This has never worked once.
See this?
Never once.
Really?
When has this
Because I
ever
just
worked?
beat the whole case with the Supreme,
Okay.
with the court here.
Okay, with the Supreme Court?
With the court here.
Oh, with this. Oh,
We're
okay.
judicial court.
Okay.
IRS already got them all for invasion of taxes.
Okay. That has nothing to do with driving. Taxes has
I am
nothing
not
to do with this.
driving, I'm traveling.
Gotcha. Okay.
Do you hear that? They call us sovereign citizens.
Gasp! They get so offended when you call them sovereign citizens these days.
Yeah, what is the sovereign citizen? Please show me in the law.
I can't even hear him because you have the windows closed.
What is the
And I'm not
sovereign
talking to him
citizen?
because he has
Please
no
show
relevance
me
to this
in
stop.
the law. What is the sovereign citizen?
I'm sorry?
Show me in the law what is the sovereign citizen.
It's not in the law, it's a colloquial term.
Sovereign citizen?
Yes.
That has nothing to do with this. That has
just
nothing
told
to
me
do with
sovereign
this.
citizen, so you are assuming.
That's just a generic word that we call people who don't want to identify themselves for this I'm
Every
traveling,
state
not
is sovereign.
driving kind
Every
of
state is sovereign.
stuff.
Do you know the
Okay?
Constitution?
Yeah, I do.
Law is the law.
Okay. Well, the Constitution doesn't say anything about driving.
So what is your reason about taking your suspicion to pulling me over?
You don't have a valid plate, and you're doing 15 and a 40, obstructing the traffic behind you. Okay?
Chevron was
I'm not
just
talking-
I wish I could hear Phone Guy a little better. I'm sure he's got crazy stuff to
Do
say.
you? You have no relevance to this traffic stop.
Yeah, he does.
So the point is, it doesn't matter because
There
it
it
has to do with your contractor. So you give her the ticket, and she can go deal with it instead of this back and forth.
Radiology says, I just finished your last tinfoil VOD and just said to my partner, I think I've hit my limit on the amount of annoying stupid people I can tolerate for the night. And then I noticed you were live and switched over, so I guess I'm a glutton for punishment. I think you actually wrote gluten for punishment, which is pretty funny.
Give me the ticket.
Why do we hurt ourselves like this? Why do we intentionally seek out things that are going to upset us? What's wrong at the heart of the human mind?
Yes.
You need to identify yourself.
I already told you my name.
You told me Eva. That means nothing.
That's my name.
Okay, I need your last name, birthday, registration,
I don't
insurance
have
for
a
car.
last name.
Okay.
I'm not a driver.
Big part in the safety,
Run that bin real quick. Pretty one, can you run that bin for me, please?
Good.
2, George, Nora, Adam. 1, boy, Edward King. 5, David. 64 27 230.
You're the one breaking law.
Contact an attorney and get them.
Attorneys are frauds.
It's because we live in a society.
No, if it's not in Michigan, I'll try sweeping it to the States.
Copy, thank you.
630.
See this?
Thanks, Ignorante.
Are we done here?
No, we're not.
I already asked you, what is your reasonable articulation?
I've told you many, many times.
That is for a driver. I'm not a driver.
Nope. You
will
are a
be
driver.
paid. You will be. I'm gonna go after your bonds.
I don't have any bonds.
Did you hear that? He said, I don't have any bonds. They just admitted.
Oh my god, he admitted!
So you do know that you are breaking the Constitution, right?
You right now are breaking the law.
Breaking the Constitution.
No, you the one who's breaking the law.
You are breaking the law.
Not me.
Probably time to do the arrests now.
Put the car in park.
No, I
We're not even halfway through this video.
will not because
Put
you're
the
gonna
car
try
in
to get
park.
me out of my car. No, I'm not.
Put the car in
Do
park.
not threaten me. You're the one with the gun.
I'm not threatening you.
You will not be threatening
I never
me.
threatened you. I said
You
put
are
the car in
threatening
park.
me right now.
I said put the car
Give
in
me
park.
the ticket so I can be on my
And
way.
you need to identify yourself.
You just look at my registration.
And it comes back no record.
There you go.
No record.
Exactly.
That's illegal.
I love when they triumphantly admit to the crime and they think they're in the right. Exactly! I am not in system! You let me go now?
It's not illegal.
It is.
By the way, I finally watched Thunderbolts. People recommended I watch Thunderbolts. It was alright. It wasn't as hype as people built it up to be, but it was enjoyable.
It's not. It's unlawful what you are doing.
No. You got it the other way around. It's unlawful what you're doing.
I have a right to travel freely.
Yeah, switch out.
Simple instructions. As a legal traffic stop, you're required to provide a valid driver's license, registration, proof of
I've not
insurance.
seen Fantastic Four yet, no.
I've given you ample opportunity to provide such documents, man. You're throwing up something that federal law trumps state law. In the state of Michigan, you need to provide a valid license, registration, and proof of insurance, okay? I am not required to show you nothing. It's... I am required to stop you. It's my job. What are you talking about? What are you talking about bonds? What are you talking about bonds? Ma'am, you're required to provide a license, registration, proof of insurance. Come on. Are you going to provide the...
What's been my favorite post-Endgame MCU movie, or maybe entry in general if you want to include the TV shows? WandaVision was pretty good. I liked WandaVision a lot. I also liked Moon Knight, surprisingly.
These documents, are you going to... Listen, well, I'll just ask you one question. Are you going to provide...
Profane Priestess says, hey Hannah, this is super random, but we kind of fell off watching the MCU stuff after the Infinity War Endgame. Do you think it's worth getting back into? Selectively, probably. There's certainly stuff that you could skip. I still haven't seen Secret Invasion. I heard it was absolutely terrible. Shang-Chi's fine. I enjoyed it. Let me see what other shit came out. I don't even remember. That's how unmemorable a lot of it is. Yeah, a lot of it's just not very memorable. The Spider-Man movie was fine that came out after Endgame. WandaVision's good. Loki's good. Hawkeye's pretty good. Moon Knight's pretty good. She-Hulk is okay. It's entertaining. Miss Marvel's okay. Everyone loves Guardians 3. It was just okay to me.
Provide me with a license, registration, proof of insurance.
have a license.
Okay, that's cool. Are you providing me identification?
I do not have a license. I do not have to provide you license.
Yes, you do. You're in a... It's a legal traffic stop, man.
What's the film with Scarlett Johansson as a superhero? Black Widow. Black Widow's like a mid movie, but I do like the character it introduces, the new Black Widow that's also in like Thunderbolts and stuff. She's good. I like her. The movie Black Widow is pretty mid though. It's not anything against Scarlett Johansson. The plot is just kind of whatever.
I missed.
Look at this.
You requested to speak with me?
Yes.
How can I help you?
What?
No, I'm a sergeant. What can I help you
Yeah,
with?
pretty much. Pretty much.
There is not a lieutenant available right now. How can I help you?
There's like 5 of them.
No, there's 3 here. But how can I help you?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
That's his car.
What is your badge and your license?
633 Sergeant Schroeder. How can I help you?
633.
You requested me to come here.
1 second. Shoulder.
31.
Good.
Why am I being stopped today?
You're being stopped for impeding traffic.
What is that impeding traffic?
You were impeding the normal...
Densetsu says Shang isn't pronounced that way. Shang-Chi. Sorry, not Shang-Chi. Shang-Chi. Don't underestimate my whiteness, Densetsu. I make nachos with Kraft singles.
flow of traffic, according to what the officer said. Because you were driving too slow. Will you provide an ID, vehicle registration, or proof of insurance?
I don't have that.
Okay. Will you step out of the car?
No, I will not.
Okay.
I was threatening by 5 men with guns.
Nothing threatening here.
We know what you're
Well,
doing to all of
you
us.
can say everything you want. Right now, you're
No.
obstructing. You will be charged, and you will be arrested for obstructing.
And I will go after all of you. Like
Go ahead.
I did with the-
Go ahead. We will open your car.
Can you just give me the ticket then? Give me the ticket.
We need your ID.
I don't have an ID.
Well,
I'm not even required to give you my...
yes, you are. You're operating a motor vehicle on a public roadway in the state of Michigan. And you've been requested by my officer to provide such, and you have not done so. And we give you ample
Give me my
opportunity.
ticket.
Can't write it without the information.
Here you go. Emma. Now they not writing.
I will tell you guys a brief white people nacho story. When I was a kid, probably a young teen, maybe 13, 14, I don't know. My dad had a giant TV downstairs. I have a TV like that nowadays, but back then it was like a giant TV, and I had a smaller TV in my room. And I think AMC at the time was going to do a marathon of all the original Planet of the Apes movies. All 5 of them, or whatever there were. And I had never seen the Planet of the Apes movies at the time. So I got the downstairs big TV. I made a huge thing of nachos with Velveeta. I basically put an entire block of Velveeta on a bag of tortilla chips, and I spent that night enjoying all 5 Planet of the Apes films, drinking chocolate milk, and eating trashy white people Velveeta nachos. And it was incredible. It's the magic of cinema. And cheese.
You want to write her name down?
Yeah. I got it in there.
Her name?
They found it. We just found it.
They just found it.
And you got a warrant out of Wayne County.
And frankly, I have all the Planet of the Apes movies here now. I have them all. I could do it now. I'm an adult. I have free will. I could call into work tomorrow and make Velveeta nachos and watch Planet of the Apes, but I won't. I'll be responsible and go to work.
You do. You have a warrant for your arrest for contempt of court.
Oh my god, when did she get contempt of court? That's hilarious. She must have been on some sort of Zoom court or something and done something stupid and never came in like she was supposed to.
You do. So at this point, you are under arrest.
Did you hear that?
You are under arrest.
You are under arrest right now.
A whole block of Velveeta after 30 could kill you. Honestly, perfect way to go for me. What else am I here for? I think I've done enough. I've collected enough movies. I'll go out eating a block of Velveeta, as God intended.
Miss, you are under arrest. Step out of the vehicle. You can take your phone with you. Step out of the vehicle now.
Can you contact Michelle?
Eva, you gotta exit the vehicle. You are under arrest. Eva? It's EWA. I think her.
Will she leave the vehicle voluntarily?
Is it Eva or Evo? Miss, can you step out of the car, please?
No, I can.
You're under arrest. Get out of the car, or we'll open the car.
Am I still collecting every Marvel movie, or did I put a pause on that? I'm still collecting them. I've pretty much stopped any and all collecting myself, except for very occasionally at, like, the used DVD store, or in, like, 2 main franchises I keep on top of. Doctor Who, when new editions of the Doctor Who Blu-rays come out, I get those, and Marvel stuff.
You have a warrant for your arrest, and you're obstructing. Step out of the car. You're under arrest. Do you want another charge for...
Even Craven and Madam Web. Madam Web, yes. Craven, I'm still looking for a copy of. That's not crazy expensive.
Obstructing? You're obstructing right now. We can...
How is she impeding traffic? She was going 15 and a 40, which is considered impeding traffic.
Charge you with that as well.
Oh, she laughed.
That's fine. Go ahead and get the easy out.
Okay.
They're gonna do a smash. Yep. Looking like they're gonna do a smash.
Yep.
Step out of the car. You're under arrest.
Oh, are they just gonna bust open the whole door?
You're refusing to get out.
Hold this. Thank you. Car stop.
Can you show me over here on
No.
stop, please?
That's this little dog. I don't think it's gonna bite, but
Yeah, you never know. It's a dog.
yeah,
Alright.
it's got some nasty shit.
This thing's not like... It's not refilling.
Can somebody grab another pump out of their car? Air pump? Thank you.
This one's not working.
he's trying to get this in there so we can open the window without breaking it. I don't know how well it's gonna go.
Work. It's curved.
I don't think the back. It's not gonna work.
It's not gonna work on the back.
Why did Sony bother with the Spider-Man villain movies? Because they thought they'd make money and they're out of touch.
Open the door so we can talk. Please.
I don't have a window breaker, do you? It's on the back of this.
I think it's been explained. I'm not gonna.
All of you will be personally charged.
Wait.
Get off my car.
Hey. Get off or I'm gonna break the window.
Get off my car.
Yeah. Eva.
Open it, I'm gonna break it. Just gonna try and drive. Yep.
Eva. Do not move the car.
Yeah, is she gonna drive away?
Break it. Hit it hard, dude.
Harder.
Go ahead. There you go. It's punching through.
Oh no!
Hey,
Oh
stop
no!
the car.
Oh no!
No. Do not move. Ayla. Ayla.
You were told you were under arrest. You refused to get out of the car.
Get out of the car now.
Don't touch me.
Get out of the car now.
Didn't even get a smash.
Hey. I'm the
Hey, don't fucking touch me!
Turn around.
No,
Put your hands behind your back now.
You are under arrest. We told you multiple times you refused to. Get out of the car like you were told.
Can I act reasonable with it? Can someone secure that fucking door?
I got her. Go ahead. Stand up.
You get other blood up.
Hey, roll a hook, please. Let's see if we go.
Alright, so let's get into some court stuff now. I think the rest of the stuff I have pulled up for today is either court or guru stuff, so let's see how the courtrooms are doing with Sobsits today. This is courtesy of Old Squishy Gardener.
Ms. Butler, please raise your hand to be sworn. Do you swear or affirm under penalty of perjury to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. All right. Are you under the influence of any alcohol or drugs today?
No.
All right.
It would be funny if someone came in and admitted it, like, "You got me, officer. I'm too think than you drunk I am."
Is that a trial in your case? I was going to get back in the calendar here.
No, we haven't finished the Afro Man trial yet. We'll probably finish that Sunday. Just so everyone knows, unfortunately, I do have to work all day tomorrow, so there won't be a stream tomorrow. But Sunday, we are going to do a normal stream, probably finishing up the Afro Man trial, and a patron and YouTube member-only stream on Sunday after the Afro Man stuff.
Get back in the file, rather. I closed it.
We did, Your Honor.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, we set a trial already. Your trial set for August the 18th and 19th, and you've indicated you want to represent yourself. Did you have a chance to review the pro se waiver rights form I presented you in open court?
I looked at it a little bit.
Is it just closing arguments or around testimony from Afro Man? I think there's testimony from a teacher to testify about students talking about the claims made by Afro Man in his songs, and then I think we just have closing statements.
Did you sign off on that?
No, I did not sign
And the verdict, of course.
off on it yet.
Okay, would you like to have more time to review it before you sign it?
Yes. Can I get the second page, please? Because I had written on the back of it. You have
I'll give you a
you have
whole
a
new one.
spare? I'm just gonna give me a whole new one.
Can I also address something? You just let me know when I can.
Oh,
Oh, go ahead.
no.
When we spoke earlier
She sounds like she's trying to be so polite up until this stuff, probably, so...
about the
Also, she's wearing mostly purple, which I appreciate.
document that was submitted, I just want to inform you that the head clerk
Should hold off on the last Afro Man trial stream for 420. I think I'd be bored watching court stuff if I was high. So I don't think I want to do that. Sue Fair Wolf, thanks for becoming a member on YouTube.
is aware of it. Since May 11th, they've been working with me.
Oh, what are you going to see, Nemesis?
Providing me all the accounting. What you just gotten just now.
Green Guy says you're 2 times as loud as the stuff we're watching. I apologize, I'll turn myself down. Hopefully that'll help somewhat.
I think one of your staff did not follow the correct procedures. So I was going to let you know that my estate has not been abandoned. I also want to let you know that I did not appoint anyone to administrate my estate. So, for that being said, I'm coming here with honor, clean hands, and no conversation. I do not want to argue about anything. I just want...
You're in court. This is a bad place to be if you don't want to argue anything.
It to be settled, closed, and gone.
This is one of my favorite sovereign citizen arguments, is they come into court after receiving some sort of summons because they've been charged with some crime or something, and they come in and they're like, I just want to settle this today. There's a whole court system, sir or ma'am, in this case, ma'am. You don't get to just sidestep it because you don't think it's worth your time. You don't get to just be like, I know you got this whole legal system you set up with, you know, the constitution of both the nation and this particular state, and you have a job as a judge and you went to school for years to learn the law. But what if we just, like, don't do that? What if we don't do the law today? What if we just let me do whatever I want, and I vaguely say I want this dealt with, and you just let me go? That's what they expect, to just say, please let me go, and they'll go, of course, you know the secret passcode, you win.
Okay, ma'am. Anything else?
When you do present another date for me to come in, would I be able to talk about this matter? How this all led up to, because I really never got a chance to even speak to no one. I've been
Ma'am, that's what the jury trial's for, okay? All the facts and circumstances related to the case, the state's evidence, everything of that nature would come out during the jury trial. So I need to go through this Feretta hearing with you, ma'am.
Okay.
You've indicated you want to represent yourself at trial. You have a right to do that, just as you have a right to have counsel present and have a court-appointed counsel if you can't afford one. But before I make that decision final, I want to make sure you understand what you'll be giving up. You understand you may have a number of defenses which apply to your case, which an attorney is trained to know. Do you understand that?
I comprehend.
Okay. And do you
Sidestepping the understand thing.
realize that if you were convicted of the offense in this case, that you're facing a possible penalty, 2 level 6 felonies. So each one of those would carry between 6 months to 2.5 years in prison. So the total combined penalty could be 1 year to 5 years in prison. Do you understand that that's the possible penalty?
I comprehend that as well.
You realize there are factors the court can consider in
Probably accept a lawyer if 1 to 5 years in jail was a potential penalty, but maybe that's just me.
increasing your sentence within that range or in decreasing your sentence within that range, and that those are called mitigating and aggravating circumstances, and that a trained attorney knows how to identify those and present those to the court?
I comprehend that.
Okay. Attorneys have developed certain skills in investigating your case, interrogating witnesses,
Green guy says you're still loud. Okay, I turned up them, so it should be more equal.
and finding favorable witnesses and obtaining their testimony. They can explain the charges and any lesser included offenses to you. They can gather documents and other kinds of written evidence. They can prepare and file motions before trial, such as motions for a speedy trial, motions for discovery, motions to keep unfavorable information from being received as evidence. They know how to examine and cross-examine witnesses at trial. They can recognize objectionable and unfavorable evidence and promptly object to its use. They can present favorable sentencing information and attack unfavorable sentencing information. At a jury trial, they can present favorable opening and closing statements, prepare appropriate written jury instructions, and select a jury. They have the training, knowledge, and skill at properly preserving the record of the case for purposes of an appeal. An attorney can also evaluate the strengths or weaknesses of the case against you and give you expert advice on whether you should attempt to seek a plea agreement with the state, which may result in the dismissal of some of the charges and a recommendation for a favorable sentence in return for your plea of guilty.
I wonder what she's writing down.
I comprehend it.
Okay. You must understand if you decide not to have an attorney, you will not receive any special treatment with your defense. You have to follow the same rules and procedures in your case as an attorney would have to do. Do you understand that?
Yes, I comprehend that, so.
Okay, so you filed these documents with the court, and these documents make statements about an Office of Executor Observations, findings regarding Porter County Superior Court interaction with Tierra Lene Butler. You talk about final order to settle and close, different things like this. And then
Oh, she thinks she's doing orders to settle the case, and I assume the settlement is I just don't get any punishment? Is that what she considers a settlement? Jay Rodimus, thanks for 52 months, says, "Ooh, look at me, I'm the funny DC number. I was listening to the car in the car and heard you haven't watched Secret Invasion. I don't dislike almost any MCU thing. Secret Invasion was ass. Anyway, I comprehend is sending me." Yeah, I think it used AI, too.
There's like a recitation of chronology, different things of that nature. And a few minutes ago, you mentioned something about how the clerk's office is helping you like settle your accounts and different things of that nature. You understand that those aren't themes or...
Green guy says, "Great, I can turn my volume down now. You're welcome."
Processes that are part of the criminal court proceeding?
Well, I had did some research on my case, and I noticed that
Was it ChatGPT, ma'am? Please stop using AI to quote-unquote research your legal cases.
That's not the question I asked.
No.
I think you misunderstood the question.
It's not criminal. It's not criminal.
Oh.
Ma'am, you can go to jail from 1 to 5 years for this. It's criminal. This is a criminal case. I am begging you to not be your own attorney if you can't even determine that your criminal case is, in fact, criminal.
You're here in a criminal proceeding. Do you understand that?
Yes, I am in a criminal proceeding, but like I've been trying to explain, ever since when I had
pro se loving men, it's supposed to be living men. I didn't fuck up the title of this, did I? Or is Green Guy just fucking with me? Give me a second. No, it says living men. What the fuck?
Well, I need you to answer the question I asked you.
Okay.
Which was whether you understand that these documents and things that you follow with the clerk's office, what's the receipt date on this?
It should be April 16th or 15th.
Hey, Credence and Mikey.
April 16th it was received, so just yesterday. That these aren't criminal matters that you followed with the court?
Those are criminal matters, the violations that have been held against me. Yes, that's a lot of violations.
You understand they're not, though. I mean, these aren't things of a criminal nature that would be part of this criminal case.
Well, you saying what I just filed is not what? Criminal?
This
Explain a little bit clearer.
These papers seem to indicate that you're trying to proceed in equity or under
Yeah,
sort of a...
Oh no, yeah, this is a thing sovereign citizens have been doing a lot recently, is trying to do something with equity in their criminal cases, Equity, as I've talked about before, is a civil thing. Equity has no business in your criminal trials because that's not what the criminal trials are about. Equity is a thing in civil court when they're trying to provoke performance from someone or get an injunction.
Pseudo legal jargon, some type of a.
Is we in the Article Court 3 right now?
Say again?
Are we in the Article Court 3 right now?
She means an Article 3 court.
I don't understand what you mean. This is the Supreme Court of Porter County.
Okay, so we basically still in the same court as administrator. So you're basically trying to administrate a mistake. What I was letting you know.
Okay, Ms. Butler, you understand that these administrative things that you're talking about aren't part of this court proceeding?
I know, I'm aware of that. I was talking to myself.
Amalgamine, what do you want me to look up in Black's Law Dictionary?
But what I'm saying is, I have done some research, okay? And
Can I look up equity? I can. We looked it up recently, but I can look it up again if you'd like. But we did look it up like last week.
Actually wanted to address it, and I'm not getting no assistance with the public defender, okay?
What are you trying to address, ma'am?
My innocence of the matter, and also the violations, the due process, the unverified information, the lying, the evaluation. I've been forced to be drugged without a cell hearing.
Can I look up? Never mind. Can I look up proceeding? I can.
Evidence that was held from me when the what's his name? Jeffrey Clymer had ordered the prosecutor to meet me in private to see my documents. I mean, the evidence held against me, and he refused to present them to me.
Proceeding, the regular and orderly progression of a lawsuit, including all acts and events between the time of commencement and the entry of judgment. Any procedural means for seeking redress from a tribunal or agency, an act or step that is part of a larger action. Sorry, where'd my mouse go? Oh, that's good. That's a good thing to lose. Cursors? Where the fuck do they go? What the fuck? I only have 2 monitors. Where could it be? What the fuck? Okay, there we go.
That's a Brandy violation because it worked in my favor when I first got it. Then also
Ms.
on
Butler,
the record.
I'm trying to get you through this Retta hearing.
I know.
This judge is very patient. Yeah, he's great. We saw him last week. I think his name is Judge Fish. He's really good with sob sits. Hydrate will do.
But you asked me, and I'm trying to explain the violations, okay?
Right, but those aren't violations that are
They are
part of this court proceeding.
now on this court proceeding.
If you have something that you plan to file related to that, it has to be filed through your attorney because you still have an attorney.
I did that too. You know what he did?
I don't know, ma'am.
Ignored me.
What you have filed through the clerk's office, you're saying are that matters in equity. We don't recognize what you're talking about in
You
these
guys are-
filings.
This is a bank. This is a bank. I understand.
This is not a bank. This is a courtroom.
How the
What'd you say?
This court system operates like a bank.
Okay, it doesn't, ma'am.
Did she think that was going to be her big end of movie moment where the judge goes, she knows we are a bank. All charges dismissed.
This court system doesn't operate like a bank in any way whatsoever.
Hold on, let me finish.
No. I'm not
No.
gonna let you finish that
Okay.
particular statement.
I said I want to
Because
conversation.
I just
Don't
need-
want to argue.
I need you to,
She really does not understand the power dynamic between the defendant and the judge, does she?
I just want you to
She
understand.
thinks she's having like a conversation with an equal in the courtroom, and that's not what this is.
Understand me mentally.
I did the mental thing just fine.
Okay.
I'm not worried about any mental thing.
Okay.
What I'm worried
okay.
about is the conception you may have that this is some sort of court of equity or some sort of a business transaction, some sort of a bank, something of that nature, because it is none of those things. You realize that? This is a criminal court.
Yes, it is. This setting is.
We're not an Article 3 court. That's a federal concept.
Yes.
You understand that?
Yes, I am.
Okay, we're an Article 7 court, if you must know, in the state of Indiana. separate judicial branch.
Yes.
Not any of the things that you've said here.
Yes.
So what I need you to tell
Why
me
is she saying yes like she knew that?
is
Okay.
whether you are understanding that you have to follow, if you're going to represent yourself, you have to follow all the rules and regulations that are promulgated by the courts of Indiana. You have to follow the criminal rules. You have to follow the trial rules.
Yes.
Will you do that?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
You will do that.
Yes.
So you understand that what you filed yesterday can be stricken under the record. Under the trial rules, under Indiana Trial Rule 12F, because it's impertinent to anything that is going on in this proceeding. You realize that?
I understand that in a sense, but like
She said, I understand, we got her.
I keep explaining to you.
Can I admit something to you guys? I don't know if we've ever watched one of these sovereign citizens that does the whole I comprehend thing and trying not to say I understand. I don't think I've seen a single one of them who doesn't accidentally say I understand at some point. So even if all these like nonsense magic rules that they've come up with, even if they were true, they would fail because every single one of them is incompetent. I always find that funny. Even if their bullshit rules were real, they're failing at it.
It was not supposed to be filed in the court. That's the difference.
You filed it at the clerk's office.
Yes.
Well, let's carry that out for a minute.
Yes. It's a difference.
What's the name of the clerk's office?
The court's office is the clerk of clerks. Clerk of clerks.
Clerk
Yes.
of courts, right? So there are
Yes.
clerks. So if you
Yes.
file something and you have a case pending, they send that to your case. Unless you try to open a case of your own.
No.
You're trying to open litigation of your own?
No.
Okay.
What I am.
This has to be presented in your court case here that you have pending before us.
Okay.
you're
So
telling
you will
me
not
to follow
strike
the
it?
Rules.
You won't strike it down, or you will strike it?
He said,
Oh, it has to be stricken. It is impertinent
how did she hear anything he just said?
to anything we're doing here. You understand?
H-Bird says, Clerk of Clerks, the story of Jesus' less successful younger brother. Depends on what you consider success. I would assume his brother lived longer than 33.
No, I don't understand.
Okay.
How you
You
just
have
strike-
filed documents making commercial demands, demanding accountings,
Yes.
challenging the capitalization. No, you didn't do that, but challenging different things about who you are and who you would in equity
Yes.
minister to,
And for
those
me,
kinds of things. Ma'am, you understand those have no basis in Indiana criminal law.
okay.
You realize
But-
that?
But let me explain. Can I make a statement to you then? You said there's no basis in criminal
Go
law.
ahead. What's your statement?
What I also want to say something, and also I am a minister, and I want to read this on the
What? She's just gonna read the Bible?
record, okay? And it states that should a man
Yep, okay. No! This is the court. Ma'am, your religious beliefs, you have every right to. I'm happy for you. This is a court. Your religious beliefs have nothing to do with this. You reading scripture does not belong in court. What are you doing?
prove himself to be living and not dead, nor lost of sea, his estate must be returned to him with mean profit. I am the living man that has a womb. I have accepted appointment of
The living man that has a womb. Based.
office of
I don't know what the fuck this is from. It's not the Bible.
executive. As such, this office give notice of its accusations and findings. And now I have issued orders, okay? And in the scripture, the living and the spiritual man judgeth over all things, yet he shall be judged by no man. And that's 1 Corinthians chapter 2, verse
Corinthians. You're a minister and you can't say Corinthians?
15. Like I said, I came here with clean hands. And I'm now the executor. My estate has no longer been abandoned. And I don't allow no more trespassing and interloping upon and administrating it.
Oh boy.
I discovered a lot of things along the way, put me in this position.
I would bet money that I know that there's plenty of crazy sovereign citizens, but something about this and her confidence in her quote-unquote research really makes me think she used a chat bot to develop a lot of these, I guess we'll call them arguments, or whatever you want to call them. I truly believe that she developed a lot of these statements with ChatGPT or some other chat bot. That's the vibe I'm getting. Orion with a $2 super chat says, this is the Pulp Fiction Bible of Pete Hegseth. I did see he quoted the fictional Bible verse from Pulp Fiction.
Okay, ma'am. Clean hands is an equitable doctrine. You understand that? This is not a court of equity. If you were in a court of equity, you wouldn't even be given or afforded the right to a jury. I think it's appropriate for me at this time now to terminate the Ferretta inquiry, deny your request to proceed pro se. I'll
Honestly, good for him.
Specifically find that the request is not a genuine attempt to present a legal defense, but a calculated strategy to obstruct and subvert the court's.
See, I don't think it's a calculated strategy to obstruct or subvert the court's functioning. I think she genuinely believes all of this, but I do think it's best for her to not be her own attorney, because obviously it would be devastating to her case. She obviously can't defend herself, but I don't think it's for the reasons that the judge says. I think she really believes all of this. I don't think she intends to obstruct or get in the way of the court's functioning. Her actions may do so, but I don't think that's her intent.
Proceedings of the defendants utilizing rhetoric of what would typically be called a sovereign citizen movement, including raising nonsensical challenges and attempting to apply commercial law to criminal prosecution or equitable law.
No, that's not
ma'am, you
true.
keep saying no, but you're talking over me and I don't appreciate it because I'm trying to rule.
I'm very interested in continuing to follow this judge. He's doing real well with this opposite stuff lately.
Right of self-representation is not a license to abuse the dignity of the courtroom or nor relevant rules of procedure and substantive law. Based on the defendant's filings and her statements in open court, court finds she's unwilling to comply with rules of procedure and intends to use self-representation solely for deliberate disruption of the proceedings. The request to proceed pro se is denied and appointed counsel will remain on the case. We're adjourned.
I hope we see more of that, because I would be interested. I wonder if she'll appeal that decision. I guess I don't know if she knows how. It's for the best, though, to be honest. She'll be much better off if she lets the council do their thing. Alright, let's see what Dr. Kia Pruitt's up to, hanging out outside the post office so she can make a video. Very normal stuff.
Hello, family. This is Dr. Kia Pruitt. It is April the 9th. Is this the 9th or the 10th? 2026. And I'm at a post office. Do you see the American flag, or the United States of American flag, which is not the flag of our republic? It is the banner of trade and commerce.
Nope, that is the American flag. The one and only American flag.
Though, of the United States Incorporated.
Is she a real doctor? She has a doctorate of something. I don't remember what it is. It's certainly not anything relevant to the law or sovereign citizen bullshit. I think people have looked it up, though. She has some sort of actual degree, but I don't remember what it is.
Underneath it is the prisoner of war flag.
Is she gonna say anything racist today? I guess we'll find out.
You see that? And if you can see it closely, it says, "You are not forgotten." Look at that. Now, are they talking about prisoners of war somewhere else, or are they talking about the prisoners of war here in the Americas?
They're talking about prisoners of war in United States conflicts. I looked this up. Post offices and other federal buildings, I think by law, in certain circumstances, are required to have the POW or MIA flag raised alongside underneath the American flag if they're flying the American flag. It's a movement in solidarity with veterans who are POWs, basically.
Who are the prisoners of war here in the Americas?
She has a doctorate in, I think, psychology. What a goddamn shame. Sucks that it's a real degree. She uses it for this. How did she get a PhD? She is so wildly stupid. J. Rodimus says, it's been a while, but I don't recall standing outside the post office going so well for the last guy.
As children, the so-called black...
Seems like a Vietnam-era thing. I would assume it was in reaction to Vietnam War stuff.
People who have no standing in law, that would be the copper-colored races discovered here by the Europeans. That is what the 1828 Webster's definition of American is, the copper-colored races discovered by Europeans or Christopher Columbus, but now
they were referring to what we would call these days indigenous peoples, of which you are not one.
Applied to Europeans. The copper-colored races encountered or discovered here by Christopher Columbus, but now
she calls herself a geopolitical analyst.
Now applied to,
of course she does,
Europeans. So once you had the North African Moors, the Moors who actually colonized Europe to come here, including Christopher Columbus, and they brought their slaves, the European slaves or the Slavics and others. They came here and they unfortunately made the United States.
My ancestors weren't slaves. Your ancestors were slaves.
Incorporated a corporation.
What a weird thing to even bring into a discussion.
And they took the original.
Oh, she's teaching children this. She's teaching children this. That's good. That's good that she's teaching this to impressionable children. Oh, Lord.
Copper-colored races called the indigenous Aboriginal Moors, and they made us prisoners of war. Then they changed our classification to colored, black, Negro, and African American. But people are waking up. We know we are no longer prisoners of war. We're reclaiming our land back. Everything's being returned. That's why I told you all that, look at that, that's beautiful, that President Donald Trump created the Department of Government Efficiency in order to downsize the government. He and Elon Musk did a great job of that, and now we're
what the fuck are you talking about?
Under a partial government shutdown, which is really a shutdown, when the Supreme Court of the United States overturned the Chevron Doctrine, which had given the United States unlimited powers. They were saying that the government had too much powers, they were treasonous, they were constitutional and unlawful. So they are closing down the government. That's why hundreds of thousands of government officials are being let off. Actually, the government is defunct. That's why the United States Treasury Department came out with a report September 2025 that says that the United States Incorporated, also known as the government, is insolvent. They have no money, they can't pay their bills.
Didn't Doge fall apart in like 3 months after stealing every American social security number and personal data? I'm sure that won't come back to hit us at any point in the future. Chitara says, I've said this before, but as a black American, I find it insanely disrespectful to our ancestors to just make shit up about our history. On top of that, acting like Trump and his white nationalist base would ever help us out if any of this garbage was true.
Also, the Treasury Department just a couple weeks ago stated that they approved Donald Trump's request to phase out all paper dollars. What does that mean? That means no more printing press.
Does she think that the government... How do I put this? The fact that she's talking about, like, no more printing press, I assume she's gonna get into, like, printing more money causing inflation. Is she under the impression that if we didn't have physical dollars, that the United States still couldn't, like, ease the, deposit requirements or the reserve requirements for banks and introduce more currency into the economy that way? Like, what in the world? Does she think it literally needs to be paper money being literally printed?
Printing money.
Because that's not even how they actually introduce, like, extra money into the economy in the first place.
Fake money. USD or US.
Most money isn't in physical dollars and change, for those who don't know. Most money is data on computers. It's numbers in spreadsheets.
Dollars by the Federal Reserve central banking system. So that means that collapses the Federal Reserve central banking system. They can't print out money to try to make themselves whole. They're insolvent. That is the branch of the monetary branch of the United States Incorporated, also known as the government. So all 445 governmental agencies have to be completely downsized.
Mosloth says her dissertation is available publicly for her PhD in philosophy, examining the factors that contributed to the retention and something it blanked out. Hold on. Sorry for the confusion earlier. I guess the Department of Education is who oversees PhDs for philosophy. Let me see if this works. That didn't work. The link doesn't work. I think it got chopped up somehow.
And in fact, behind the scenes and in front of the scenes, if you know where to look, there's no more government. Okay, there's no more government. That's why Iran just came out with a statement saying that they're making an announcement to the black people. And in November, you had Pedro, who was...
I'm sorry, what? She thinks that Iran has a statement specifically for black people?
The president of Colombia mentioned to the United Nations, in front of the United Nations.
Here we go again. Yeah, it's not working for me, Mosloth. That link doesn't open. It says unexpected server response. This happens to me when I try and grab the Sarah Boone Paulson court letters, too. Now I'm wondering if it's a me issue instead of a server issue.
In front of the whole world at the United Nations.
It works for you? Okay, why the fuck does that not work for me then? How weird. Why is this a technical issue that I have? Whatever, I'll deal with it later. At least I know it's probably me now.
Saying it's over and this is my last time talking, but he said the black people are the only original indigenous peoples of the Americas. So everybody's waking up. They're letting us know the time is up. The prisoners of war, you all classified as African American, Negro, colored, and black.
No, I'm not on a VPN currently. Terradona says, goes to show that just because you hold an advanced degree, it doesn't make you qualified to opine on every topic.
You're not forgotten, okay? The military is working on your behalf. President Donald Trump is too. You see this flag flowing with United States Incorporated's flag. As I said, that is not the flag of our republic. It is the Federal of Trade and Commerce for the European.
Nope. The United States flag.
Who came here, according to my knowledge. Somebody else might have something else to say in the comment section. So we did a field trip today with the children coming to the post office. I wanted them to see some things. But yeah, look at this prisoner of war. And we want to give honor to Sheikh Jacob Bey, who has come on the Dr. Kia Pruitt show to show us this flag. He showed us pictures to say this is in front of the post office. And somebody can tell us what the post office is according to the Republic. Some people have told me that it's the real bank. How much power does the post office have, and why would they be flying this flag? Somebody tell me. You're not forgotten. Oh my God. Even if it's not the prisoner of war here, and then we're talking about other prisoners.
I'm very confused how do I put this? How is someone this incapable of putting together basic facts of reality into narratives that make a modicum of sense? Like, how do you not look at the POW flag on a federal building's pole under the American flag and not go, oh, there's probably some law about this, right? That's my first thought, is there's probably some law that requires it for some reason, based in the United States' history of how we're treating veterans and stuff back in, like, Vietnam era, stuff like that. That's my immediate thought. How does your brain look at that and not able to construct a reasonable narrative? And that's not even saying what you construct has to be true. You can have reasonable beliefs that aren't necessarily true, but how do you look at this and you're just confounded? You can't even imagine a reasonable explanation for this.
The war that belonged to America, you're not forgotten. That means you're remembered. Now, if we're talking about the prisoners of war here, you remember that in Motu Proprio, they're the grandbabies, Amin Ra and Cherish Mia Moore. And motu proprio.
One of your grandchildren's name is Amun Ra.
I hope you guys can see me. That I showed you those videos on my YouTube channel. You can go to the Dr. Kia Pruitt Show on YouTube. Motu proprio is a letter that was actually written by Pope Francis and sent to
Trey says, I'm surprised you don't know more about this, but the presence of the POW flag largely comes from a conspiracy theory that was popular in the aftermath of Vietnam. There was this common claim that there were tens of thousands of captured U.S. troops that the government was lying about, that there are some conspiracy theorists, although they're very old and often off the internet, that think to this day that there are still American POWs in Vietnam. It's 2026! It's been like 50 years! Even if they had ever been there, they'd be very dead. Whatever. There's still people who think Elvis and JFK are alive, so whatever.
Obama in 2013 and 2014. They say there were 2 letters. I saw one of them. He said that the United States Incorporated is not the government. He said it is a rogue element that incorporated itself on these lands in North America in 1871 as a nonprofit religious organization.
Your father's a Vietnam vet and in his 70s. If he was in a POW camp for 50 years, I don't think he'd make it to his 70s.
Further to say that it has to collapse and we must stand down. He said Obama is not the president, but he's the president of a corporation, the CEO of a corporation, and all presidents are presidents of the corporation. He said we must stand down, court officials must stand down, policy enforcers must stand down, and the whole so-called government must stand down because we're rogue, we're unconstitutional, and treasonous. Read my letter Motu Proprio on the Dr. Kia Pruitt Show in my community section, or you can look at...
Trey says in one extreme case, a guy who was over there, very least claimed to be a Green Beret, smuggled journalists into Vietnam to try and do an expose trying to uncover secret concentration camps for U.S. soldiers. It was a huge international incident at the time because he was claiming to be an acting authority on the authority of the U.S. government.
My videos.
Jesus Christ.
Just spell M-O-T-U-P-R-I-O.
Why are Americans fucking crazy?
P-R-O-P-R-I-O, or you can Google it. Motu Proprio, Dr. Kia Pruitt. You see the videos where I've read the letters. He said everything must end. This is Pope Francis. What gave him the authority to say that? Well, I'm glad you asked. When the corporation called the United States incorporated themselves in 1871 as a nonprofit religious organization, they put the Pope as the leader. That's how it's religious. So it's over for them. And he went on further in the letter and said, we use African Americans as chattel property to pay off our debts. And then it was our policy to enslave all people and to use them to pay off the debts. He said after the Civil War, we first used African Americans as chattel property to pay off the debts. Why is everybody so concerned about African Americans? Why are people so happy about coming to the Americans to live a better life, to have the American dream, even though they're not Americans? They are United States citizens, right? Why? Because they know that they can get government benefits, they can get land here, they could get loans, they can create businesses, and they were told in brief when they came to the Americas to stay away from black people because we are the slaves, chattel property. They say we were lazy, we were dirty, all that. You guys have heard the rhetoric, but some of them knew and some of them may not have known that they were accessing our trust by using our social security numbers to access the trust and buying up land that the banks don't have the allodial titles to. So how did they get the land?
Allodial titles aren't a thing in the United States.
Additionally, they have buyers, they have clauses in the deeds and clauses in some of the people's wills that say do not sell land to black people or people classified as black, African Americans. Why has this been allowed to go on? It's still on the books. And in order to remove that from the deeds, you have to go through a tedious process. You can look on my community.
It's unenforceable regardless. Like, you have equal rights as a citizen, so that would be unenforceable.
Section on the Dr.
It wouldn't surprise me a lot of very old shit has racist stuff on legal documents, but it would be unenforceable.
will show, and I show you, it's called a no black buyers clause in the deeds. We were kept off our lands. We were kept out of, what do you call them, golf courses. We were kept out of country clubs, which is where our indigenous tribal leaders used to go and make very important decisions. We were kept
at country clubs. You think modern country clubs are secretly ancient and used by indigenous people, but then they were okay. All right.
Kept off cemetery lots, we were kept off mounds, we were kept out of a lot of places because the rhetoric is that we're slaves.
I don't know if golf was that popular in the Americas back then.
From Africa, but we all know we didn't come from African slave ships. The encouraging news is that everybody in the world knows who we are. This is why they stopped buying the bonds, United States Treasury bonds. The United States Treasury bonds was being sold by the United States Incorporated and state corporations and city corporations to countries outside of America. But they stopped buying the bonds. They said, we're done with you. You're not the real government. You're not the real America.
If purchase of government bonds has gone down recently, it would likely be because of the instability of the United States government.
Americans, the real government is the republic for
I'm sure they're still bought and sold, but I don't know if the rate of sale has gone down at all.
Sovereign people on the land, not United States citizens. United States citizens are afforded privileges from the United States government, which is no longer standing. It is defunct, bankrupt, and gone bye-bye. So they were afforded privileges, and now their privileges are over. Basically, they were on a glorified visa, and they had glorified work permits, but those are over. So I don't know what to say other than be encouraged, all people, because once the land is returned back to the indigenous autochthonous Americans, misclassified, misnomer as Negro, colored, and Black or African American, then everything will happen as it was supposed to happen. And all treaties which had not been honored will be honored with the nations that are here. If they can't honor those treaties, they will have to go back to their homelands, and they can be sovereign free people or sovereign free principles on their own land, make it great there. And if they desire to come back, they will come back with a gold card, and it will cost about $1 million, and then they can create businesses when they come back here to serve we, the American people. So American sovereigns or American principles are the ones that autochthonous people or the autochthonous aboriginals that sprung from the soil here. Those are the 1828 Webster definition of American. The copper-colored races discovered.
Famously, as we all know, the definitions of words never change over the course of 150 years, which is why we never put out new editions of the dictionary.
By Christopher Columbus. Everyone else is a citizen. There may be some type of naturalization process that will be disclosed eventually so that people who are here who don't have American blood will be okay. Some people ask, what about the ones that are mixed?
And she thinks Trump is going to do this? Yeah, she's nuts.
Why do you think they came up with the one drop rule? They told you if you were one drop, they would keep you out of things, right? One drop of autochthonous, indigenous, African American, so-called African American blood. They'll keep you out of certain spaces, and that's why people color their hair blonde even when they have one drop, or they try to get nose jobs, or they straighten their hair. Who you think who really came up with some of these straightening processes?
Did she say one drop?
Okay, Madam.
Yikes.
C.J. Walker was only one, but there were people that predated her that came up with straightening processes so that the people can straighten their hair and kind of phase out their blood, or they made it with more Europeans to try to whitewash the blood. However, the one drop rule, people are still Americans. So you have citizens that are beholden to the United States Incorporated, they're chattel property of the corporation, they were given and afforded privileges. And then you had sovereign principles or sovereign autochthonous people, Americans, the real Americans, okay? Just because some people said, well,
what is one drop? It's a racist axiom. I've mostly heard it in the context of white supremacists, where they say basically, I feel so gross explaining this. It's the white supremacist axiom that you're only white if you're quote unquote pure. If you have even one drop of non-white blood in you, they are claiming you're non-white. It's like a racist thing.
Legal American, there's no such thing.
She seems to be doing that, but in the opposite direction, because she is a black supremacist, as we saw from previous episodes, where she speaks very poorly of people that she does not consider within her ethnic group.
Is illegal American, okay? Americans are afforded rights. We have rights. We have rights to the land, blood rights, birth rights from our ancestors, okay? And so some people will try to tell me, well, nobody owns the land. Of course not. But who was the land supposed to be for? The ancestors left deeds, allodial titles, etc., gold, silver, all of that here. Why does everybody want to come here? Because it is the land flowing of milk and honey. You've heard many of my videos. I'm not going to go on and on. I just want the prisoners of war to know you are remembered. You have not been forgotten. Your land is being returned back to you. The government of the United States Incorporated has collapsed. It's bankrupt, it's insolvent, it no longer exists. So the chiefs on the land are back in control. American people are back on their throne. Celebrate and make sure you treat people right and treat them correctly with love, honor, truth, peace, and justice, whether they treated us that way or not. But they have to return everything back. The land, the gold mines, the silver, the so-called identity. They stole our identity, or it's called identity theft, calling themselves Americans.
Identity theft is not a joke, Jim.
Bless them, they probably didn't know any better. This is why they say United States citizens, though. They think that's the same as American. It's not. Also, the Native Americans have birthright citizenship challenge too, because birthright citizenship is based on the 14th Amendment clause of the Constitution, which was actually intended for children of so-called African American slaves. Their children could be considered citizens after the Civil War. Remember, motu proprio, Pope Francis said after the Civil War, we utilized African Americans as chattel property to pay off our debt. That's why they classified our children as citizens, to pay off their debt.
No. Stone Corbell with 100 bits says, how does she square the belief that, quote, her people are now, quote, in control with the fact that she can't set laws, command the military, etc.? If you're in control, then control. Rule, govern, you should be able to, right? This is the common conspiratorial belief that good people are secretly in control, but they can't make themselves known yet because they're still fighting evil people behind the scenes, or there's some secret plan. It's nonsense. QAnon people believe stuff like this. Nasara people believe stuff like this. It's a comforting lie that says people with the same ideology as you are secretly in control, so nothing too bad will happen right now. And very soon, everything you want will happen because people like you are in control, and once they exert that control, you'll be in paradise.
Okay, let me stop preaching here. So all the ones that are citizens, well, your citizenship is over, it's void, as well as your visas and your work permits, because the United States Incorporated is gone. And the bonds, the treasury bonds that they were selling to other countries, they don't exist anymore because countries have stopped using. They just dropped them. No more buying those bonds.
Are sleeper cells common in Sobsit world? What do you mean, Amalgamate?
Now the corporation is broke. All right, that's it, family. Just remember, nobody's forgotten. All peoples, or peoples, I don't want to call us peoples, I want to call us all of us, that beings, or whatever you want to call us. Some people call us humans, gods, goddesses, kings, queens, all over the world. We all have wealth. We all will be redeemed. We all will have our lands recovered and restored back to us. We all will have wealth. So even the ones that go back home, they will receive the wealth from their homelands, and they can make their countries great again. That's the beauty of all of this. I love you. My name's Dr. Kia Pruitt, out. Now let me show you the flag one more time. Prisoners of war, you will not be forgotten. Ashe, 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 oh. Look at that flag going. Why is it black and white? Interesting color. Somebody has to tell me.
You could Google it!
What is black and
all of the answers to the... Why do people like this, conspiracy theorists, sovereign citizens, they will ask a question like that, why is it black and white? And then they'll just leave it hanging. As if, like, their confusion, as if their ignorance is in and of itself a point? Google it! Why are you even articulating the question if you're not going to take a second to look into it? It's maddening. It's maddening!
white stand for? Let's see if we can. What does black and white stand for?
The black property stands for our color.
But we're not black. Black means no standing in law. No legal standing here in America. That's why they gave us that classification. Very interesting. All right, say bye, Mia.
Bye.
Say bye, Amira.
Bye.
They're homeschooled babies. We had a great day today. Peace. Mama Kia loves you all. Remember that. And remember, Nasara and Janasara is for everybody. All peoples, no matter what complexion, no matter what affiliation, no matter what political affiliation or religious orientation, we all will be honored. The only reason why we are bringing up who the people are here is because they were prisoners of war. They need to know that they are the original people here in order to stop feeling like they are slaves, and in order to feel that they're the gods they must know this. They must raise up and stand up in their regality, and they must reclaim their land and their identity and their heritage. And
I wish one of the Moorish citizens would name one of their kids Ardith Bay one time.
Must teach this
just so I could do that meme.
Information, the true information, her story, culture, not his story of the colonizers, not his story of the European Moors that came here, or the ones that they brought here. Why did they bring the Slavs or the slaves here, the light complected Europeans here that they had colonized and enslaved in Europe? And they taught them how to bathe and all that stuff they did during the Renaissance. They taught them because those a new race that was created. Okay, so they taught them, but they also enslaved them, and they did bad things to the women. And then a lot of the Caucasian people were trying to flee with some of the stuff that was done to them when they were slaves there. But the
words sound alike, must be same word.
Moors.
That's how I decide things.
The North African Moors that look like us, but they're not us, who came here and colonized this place, brought the slaves or the Slavics here. Because if you read Machiavelli, you understand that there's two ways you can colonize a place. You can
imagining her reading Machiavelli cracks me the fuck up.
Colonize by bringing in the military, or you can colonize by bringing another group or so-called ethnic people or race of people onto the lands, and then you can give them benefits or privileges, and they will be beholden to you and owe you a debt if you brought them in and gave them privileges like they brought the Caucasian Europeans in and gave them jobs and gave them land, pushed us out of our land, gave them land, put them in positions. And
okay, we get it. She said she was done, and it goes on another 5 minutes. We get it. We'll move on. All right, we're halfway through the stream. If you like the stream, do me a favor on YouTube, hit the thumbs up button. I'd really appreciate it. Hit the like button, and if you're on mobile, hype the stream. If you want to help support the stream financially, we couldn't do this without viewers like you. You can always become a member on YouTube, use super chats, subscriptions on Twitch, or bits. Thank you, everyone. Steve with a Q with a link. And it's over. She can't hurt us anymore. Oh, what else are we gonna do? This is a video Team Skeptic uploaded. So we're going to cover this because I thought it looked interesting. I will skip over his commentary, but it looked like a pretty good court video. So let's check it out. Thanks, Team Skeptic, for the upload.
Here for pretrial conference.
Is this a court of records?
Sorry?
Is this a court of records?
A court of record. Singular.
I'm not sure what you mean by that, sir.
Is this on the record?
All court proceedings in criminal court are recorded. Yes, sir.
Okay.
All right, so.
Great. I'd like to say that I'm in holistic, organic living man.
Holistic and organic living man. Ooh, is he gluten-free too? We'll never know.
The land of my ancestors. I preserve all rights, waive none. I hereby special.
The land of your ancestors is Akalusa.
I'm hereby special appearance. Let's see here. I got notes and stuff, so.
Okay.
I am the director. I'm the executive director and president beneficiary of the registered agent of the estate.
He's not even saying the sovereign citizen arguments correctly.
I hold up my birth certificate, surrendering the birth certificate to the court to confirm, to the court, not to be confused with the all caps entity created.
Did you read this over before you came into court? Giving it a quick read or two might have helped you when you were actually in front of the judge.
My assumed name on the driver's license.
Well, unfortunately,
hereby come in peace. I withdraw from the War Powers Acts of the Trading with the Enemy Acts of 1917. I refuse. I release myself as the surety and due just compensation refund to me as this is a financial matter. Then
I don't think this is a financial matter. I think this is a criminal matter. H. Baird says Court of Records would be a great name for a music store where the gimmick is that the snobby cashier formally judges your taste in music. Chitara says, it's gonna be good when they don't even have the Sovset jargon down. He sounds like an inexperienced mage trying to weave a spell glyph he can barely read.
the living indigenous man is me and who they must pay up to.
We're paying you now. Oh.
Okay. I do not
infinite money glitch. Keep committing crimes and then force the court to pay you money. Genius.
Consent to these proceedings. I peacefully withdraw from all legal fiction, corporate, person responsibilities. I'm only here to settle this.
Did you just say you're withdrawing from all of your personal responsibilities? What a great trick. I wish I could learn that. I hereby reject all of my personal responsibilities. We did it.
This matter as an executor, and again, I do not consent to these proceedings. I have no contract or charging papers. I have not seen bookkeepings or accounts or notified the IRS that money is being created in the all caps assumed name. Security bonds, taxes are due according to my counsel, which is the Most High.
God is your lawyer? I don't think he's going to make an appearance in court. I don't even think he has a P number.
Thank you.
I do not consent. There is no contract. This is a tax court. Everything previous to what's been said before has been null and void because failure to show the contracts. There is no injured party in this case. If there is an injured party, for the record, please have them stand, and they must.
Lucas says, I don't understand how these people think power works. Me either. Have they thought about it? I don't know.
Must be a living man or woman. I do not consent. I do not comprehend. UCC 1308-207, all rights reserved. Public Law 93-579 without prejudice.
Oh my God, he was turning into a snake man for a second.
And I invoke the Brady Law, which means everything within this case has to be presented. And again, here is the birth certificate. I surrender it. This takes care of all the taxes that this case has created under my name.
All right, I'm not sure what you mean by that, Mr. Is it Mendez Hurlbert or just Hurlbert? Or is it Mendez? I just want to get your name right, I'm sorry.
It's neither.
Okay, what is your name?
My living name is John Felix Mendez Herbert. I am the living man on the soil.
All right, so, sir, I'm not sure what
I've also
all
sent,
that means.
I've also sent in all this documentation for you to view as of Friday. Haven't heard anything. I didn't see my name on the paperwork outside. If I wasn't standing here, I wouldn't know I was supposed to be here.
Is this what sovereign citizens...
What do you mean? Of course you were supposed to be here. You showed up. Clearly you got a notice of some kind. Dillo's Filler says how I feel sometimes watching these folks.
مرحبا وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته.
يا شيخ اليوم بالغلط وقعت أمي شاورما مع زيادة طحينية.
نعم.
وكمان قطعة تفاح وتقريبا 3 لتر مي. فمش عارف هل أكمل صيامي ولا أطعمني الله وسقاني.
I presume that translation is not accurate, but funny.
Read emails from litigants. So anything you want the court to consider has to be filed in the court file. If you want a motion to be heard, you have to file it in the court file and then contact the clerk to get a hearing date on that. But I cannot read or respond to emails from parties. So I know you've been sending emails. Those go straight to the IT department. I have not read anything that you have sent, sir. I'm not able to do that.
UCC 1-30-13.
I promise that the UCC almost certainly has nothing to do with your case.
That's 103.6.
Okay.
Just making sure that everything that I need to say was on the record for public consumption.
Thank you. So.
And I'm not the fictitious person on this document. I'm the living man.
All right. Well, so you understand about the emails, right?
I do not consent. I do not comprehend.
You don't understand that I can't read.
He didn't even say I don't understand. He said I can't comprehend. Now I'm confused.
Read your emails?
I do not comprehend.
Okay, now I'm concerned. I'm getting some different concerns.
Like, shouldn't he be saying I don't understand? Because they believe I don't understand means I don't stand under your authority. Normally they would say I comprehend to sidestep saying I understand. But now he's saying I don't comprehend, which isn't getting him out of the understand thing, if that's what he thinks it's doing. He's just literally saying he doesn't comprehend. Which he doesn't, but does he know he's saying that?
You're not understanding what I'm saying?
I do not consent to what you're saying.
Okay. I'm telling you that I cannot read your emails.
You've already read my...
Chitara says, "Ah, shoot, damn, he got us there. All right, sir, you're free to go. By the way, since you've renounced everything attached to your name, the state will be confiscating all of it since an entity like yourself has no next of kin. Good day."
Emails.
No,
we have
sir.
evidence you did.
No, sir.
Somebody with your email access viewed the
Those
email.
were forwarded straight to IT.
Okay.
Yes, they were sent straight to IT. I can't have
You can't have private conversations with the judge.
emails from parties, sir. Anything that you want the court to consider has to be filed in the court file. If it's a motion.
I still have more stuff to present then.
Okay, then file it appropriately. You're not allowed to just send things to the judge.
The state is ready for trial.
Okay.
First thing. Second thing, it is my understanding that the victims in this case are receiving hundreds of pages of faxes from the defendant.
Oh my god, he's sending shit to the victims.
They're in their AEDs.
I wonder I don't even know what the charge is.
Apparently they still have a fax machine. They're receiving hundreds of pages of faxes from Mr. Holbert. I would ask, I know that you already advised Mr. Holbert this during his Brody hearing, but I would ask that you remind Mr. Holbert as to what he can and cannot do with respect to contact with...
H-Beard says, what happens if you don't speak English and your only language is something they can't get an interpreter for? Do they let them go? In that case, you should raise your kids only speaking Klingon and they can never be convicted of a thing. I'm sure they would find a translator somewhere. Real quick, I have to use the bathroom. Sorry, I gotta go in the middle of this video. While I'm using the bathroom chair, we'll tell you about... Equilibrium, the movie that invented gun kata, the stupidest fictional martial art in the history of fictional martial arts. Enjoyable movie, though. I would recommend it. Be right back. All right, continuing.
Victims in this case. But as far as if there are additional issues that Mr. Hurlburt has for this court, we would ask that he file a motion, that he set a hearing.
Nemesaur, you can only claim adverse possession of the stream if you pay my stream taxes for 7 years straight.
But that this is not the appropriate place for us.
Objection, Your Honor. I'd like to see the report that the victims are injured parties. Is there a medical report? Where's the evidence? I just want to know where the evidence is at.
Mr. Hurlburt, what he can and can't do with respect to contact with victims and witnesses in this case. I have not filed a motion for protective order. I'm not seeking any other relief than to remind Mr. Hurlburt as to what he can and can't do with respect to contact of victims and witnesses as opposed to.
So
Your Honor, I still need to see the victims. He cannot be the victim and the lawyer.
Okay, pretty clearly there's victims, considering the guy just said you're sending a bunch of faxes to the victims. So they'll be here on the trial. If you go to trial, they'll be there to testify most likely.
At the same time.
Okay, so I am looking at the bond conditions.
Where's the injured party? That's what I want to know.
Sir, just 1 second. I'm trying to address what Mr. Ferris
What
said.
jurisdiction is this? Sorry, I just need to understand.
Sir,
I'm
just
trying to understand.
bear with me
Criminal.
for a minute, okay?
Okay.
Mr. Ferris, I'm looking at the bond conditions. I don't see restrictions on it.
Your Honor, with respect to contact, not with respect to bond, but with respect to
He moved the goalpost to physical injury, did he?
that sporadic hearing, Mr. Hurlburt was advised as to what he can and can't do with respect to direct contact of victims and witnesses. He is sending hundreds of pages of faxes to the victims.
You'll
We are
file a motion.
we are suing them. That's what's happening. All this is fictitious. We're suing them.
You'll need to file a motion. Mr. Hurlburt, are you ready for trial? Today is, you got a few options.
At no point would you suing them involve you personally sending hundreds of pages of faxes to them without them asking for anything.
I just received more information from them,
Okay.
so that I need to review all of it, and then I need to submit more paperwork, because this is obviously a tax court, and I surrendered my birth certificate to.
Okay, it doesn't sound like a tax court. Again, I don't know what your charges are. This sounds criminal, though.
Pay for it. Maybe you're not aware of it, but there's many people that are aware.
They didn't refer to plaintiffs, they referred to victims, which makes me think it's definitely criminal.
Of what's happening here.
Yeah, except
He did file a notice of discovery on Friday. And
okay.
We have provided discovery today.
Okay, so the state has provided you with discovery. In fact, I'm looking at it. It was filed today, this morning.
There was an amended exhibit this morning that identified some additional witnesses. We actually filed it back in February and attempted to contact Mr. Hurlburt as to how he would like to receive it. before we received the notice of discovery, we have now received the notice of discovery. Mr. Holbert indicating that he's willing.
I did not consent. I did not consent.
Discovery, we have now started, he has received the discovery that he requested on Friday.
So this morning, it looks like.
What jurisdiction are we under? Because I need to understand.
This is the
this
circuit
amity law?
court.
Because there's no contract? Is this regular law? There's no injured party? I need to know all these things so that I can prepare correctly.
This is the circuit court in and for Okaloosa County, Florida. I'm looking at the discovery, amended discovery exhibit that was filed by the state this morning, and it looks like, Mr. Ferris, it says on here, please provide a thumb drive if checked, and it looks like the box is checked. Are you needing Mr. Hurlbert to provide you with a thumb drive for the discovery?
As I understand it, how do you want to receive discovery?
Let's see here. How do I want?
You can provide us with a thumb drive. You can provide us with an email.
Well, the email's fine. I'll be emailing you again.
Would that be the King Smarty email address?
That's the boss.
Okay.
His email is King Smarty the Boss something. Wow. Wow.
So
that's who I am, by the way.
Okay.
King Smarty. Not John Phyllis Mendes on this paperwork.
Okay.
This is fictitious. This is
So-
made up. I'm sure you all know about it.
All right. So let's see. I don't know if you have motions that you wish to have heard, but I can't hear them today. You would need to contact the clerk for a court date unless you want me to set one right now.
The day I saw you, you said that you just received it and you didn't have time to look at it.
Okay.
I move for this to be dismissed. There's no injured party. There's no jurisdiction.
They clearly do have people who are injured in this particular case, sir. You're not emailing, you're faxing them. Fennikagami says, Your Honor, the prosecution says my crime was ending an entire family, so who's the injured party with the right to charge me if all the relatives are dead? Jay's a proxy with a 410 stream streak says, Hope y'all are having a great Friday. Hope you are too. I gotta work tomorrow, which is a bummer, and it's a 10-hour shift too. Gotta get up at 6 a.m. What a bummer.
And
do I know the definition of chutzpah? It's like you got balls, right? I don't know the literal translation, but that's my understanding based on context clues, is it means you got gumption. You got something.
This is a waste of my time, and I will be seeking financial, compensation for all this.
All right. So I do see your motion to dismiss.
Yes, ma'am. I've been trying to tell everyone that I'm not guilty of any of this stuff, and there's no evidence to.
Okay, well, that's what the trial would be for.
To prove so.
If that's the truth.
Would you like to set that state? I've got, and Mr. Holbert, I've got next Tuesday. Is that too soon for this?
That's too soon for subpoenas, Your Honor.
Okay.
One who reads with a 7-stream streak says, Streaking with Hannah, a palindrome.
Then we have May 19th. We have the morning of May 14th.
Either of those dates is not a mistake, Your Honor.
And can you have him supply me with everything I just requested?
What all did you just request?
The jurisdiction, the injured party, the medical records that there was an injured party, and everything else that I said. We can go back and rewatch these videos.
Apparently he believes injured party literally means physical damage. That's interesting. I know someone else pointed that out earlier with the physical damage thing. But to reiterate, he is clearly thinking that damage must mean physical damage, must mean that he harmed them physically in some way.
I did say I invoked the Brady Act, right? Because everything that has to do with this case, including the taxes and banking, all of it has to be put on the table.
May 14th. at 9 o'clock.
And that's on the defendant's motion to dismiss, correct, Your Honor?
Yes. Now, sir, if you have other motions that you want to have heard, you need to file them. I would say, how long do you
I
need to get?
request this to be dismissed.
Yes, we've got that scheduled for May 14th at 9. You'll have a hearing. So I'm wondering if you have other motions that we also need to hear.
No, I'm asking you,
Okay.
I'm accepting your oath of office to do the, in the interest of justice, to dismiss this case based on this.
She gave you a hearing date for that motion. She's not gonna do it right now. She just told you that. She said it's gonna be in the future. You cannot demand her rule on that motion right now. Even if she did, she's not gonna rule in your favor. So probably not the best use of your time to try and force her to make a decision right now. Not that it'll make much of a difference anyway.
There's no evidence. There's no injured party. There's no jurisdiction.
We're going to hear your motion to dismiss on May 14th.
What's wrong with hearing me right now?
Today is not a motion day.
Okay.
So May 14th at 9 is your motion to dismiss. Now, if you have other motions that you'd like to have heard on that day, you need to file them in sufficient time so that the state can review them in time to be prepared. And if they need to
Okay,
subpoena
now.
people,
Okay.
they need to have time. So how much lead time do you need, Mr. Ferris? If other motions are filed,
Can
how
I
much
hand this to
advance
him?
time?
Then we need to deal with
Like 2 weeks or what?
2 weeks.
Okay, so really by May 1st, anything else you want to be heard on May 14th, you need to file it by May 1st, and then contact the clerk to let them know that you want to add that to the hearing.
Okay, well, like I said, I don't
Actually, I think
consent.
on May 14th, you would contact,
Well, like I said, I don't consent to any of this stuff,
It doesn't matter.
and that should be efficient. Here's my birth certificate. I'll leave it here.
I'm glad he.
Don't leave your birth certificate there. No one's gonna take your birth certificate.
if you leave that there, it's going to remain there.
It's all right.
The court's
It's on
not
the
taking
record that
possession
it
of
was
that.
submitted. It was,
It's going to remain right there on that podium, sir.
okay.
I mean, that's,
I surrendered
That's
my
not
birth
filing.
certificate.
That's not
That's what's
filing.
bringing everybody into court, their birth certificates, so
Wrong!
I'll surrender mine here.
all right. Well, I recommend you don't leave your birth certificate up there for anything to happen to it, because that's not filed with the court, left there on the podium, sir.
It's okay, it is record, and the man
This man is so overconfident.
upstairs is watching, so it's here.
All right.
Have a great day.
May 14th at 9, and we
He really thinks that's a gotcha. Ugh.
need to set another court date, sir. June 8th. Pretrial conference at 9.
I do not consent.
The state would ask that
Okay, doesn't matter if you consent.
the last continuance, that this be the last continuance, and that we proceed to trial immediately after the June.
I do not consent.
Okay.
I do not comprehend.
Well, I'm setting June 8th at 9 is also a court date for you. That's a pretrial conference. So you have two right now, May 14th and June 8th.
Are
All
you
right.
attempting to administer my trust without my consent?
This isn't a trust. There's no trust.
I don't know what you're saying, sir, but I will see you on May 14th
Okay.
at 9 for your motion to dismiss.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. Good luck to you.
All right, so that's the end.
Jesus
Don't forget
Christ.
to
I would love to see a follow-up to that, Team Skeptic. So you should upload that. No, that was interesting, though. I hope we get to see him again. All right, let's see what else we got.
Anthony Winston Mathis.
No, I'm Anthony Mathis, the living man, here in special appearance for Anthony Winston Mathis, also acting in my proper capacity of the trustee of the trust.
Very well, Mr. Mathis. Today's the date and time for your informal hearing. The citation before the court,
This
Mr.
video is courtesy of Judge Reacts, by the way.
Mathis, indicates that on May the 24th of this year at approximately 9 p.m., you are operating a 2024 Ford Edge, black in color on 11 Mile Road, Air near Washington, in the city of Royal Oak. And at that place and time, you
Who started this living man thing? Much of the sovereign citizen mythos and the rules that they have come up with originate with the Posse Comitatus movement, which was a white supremacist tax tax quote-unquote protester movement that existed, I think, in the 1970s. So they came up with a lot of the base rhetoric surrounding, like, the living man and the straw man and bullshit like that.
You committed the civil infraction of impeding traffic.
Since then, it's been a game of telephone where those ideas bounce around various groups and stuff.
Impeding traffic, sir, is considered a lesser included offense within nearly any moving violation. And Officer Moran indicates in his detailed note that your vehicle was on...
Isn't it weird that a group of people can basically create an actual mind virus? Like an idea that takes root in people and it's just incorrect, but it, like, some ideas just get really in people's brains. And the sovereign citizen stuff is like that. Why can some people come up with ideas that just spread and fuck up people's brains? It's so interesting.
East 11 Mile Road at Washington and disobeyed the traffic signal. The officer had a green arrow and therefore driver had a red light. Mr. Mathis, you have 3 options and 3 options only, sir, in the protection of your own rights. You may, sir, admit responsibility in this matter. The court will attach the scheduled fine and that will close the case. Or, Mr. Mathis, you may admit responsibility with an explanation that you believe mitigates these circumstances, or you have every right to deny responsibility and the court will swear the parties and will take testimony. What would you like the court to do for you today?
Well, I have a few questions, if you don't mind.
Always with the questions.
The court does mind. You need to make a plea. I am required by law.
No, I don't plead to anybody. I only plead to the Most High. Who are you?
God says that you should probably listen in court and plead, because otherwise you're gonna go to prison. And I don't know. I'm not religious, but if you believe in God, I'd assume you believe in a God that doesn't want you to go to jail today, right? So probably listen to the court's advice.
I am Magistrate William Urick, P43273. I am a sworn judicial officer of this district. We are here for your informal hearing that you requested. This court is required by law, procedure, and court rule to take a plea. The motorist requesting this informal hearing, that being you, must make such a plea. You may admit responsibility in this matter.
I don't plead to anybody but God.
You may admit with an explanation, or you may deny responsibility, and the court will swear the parties and will take proofs. What would you have the court do for you today?
I don't plead to anybody.
Very well. Officer Moran and Mr. Mathis, please raise your right hands.
I do have a question.
Do you solemnly swear the testimony you shall give before this court shall be the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Thank you very much. Please proceed.
Magistrate, on May 24, 2024, at approximately 9 p.m., I, Officer Moran, was in the area of East 11 Mile in Washington when I observed 2024 Ford Edge black in color.
11 Mile? Is this another Michigan one? Fuck.
With Michigan plate Edward John Lincoln.
Fuck. My state is just chock full of them. I'm just telling you, they're everywhere.
6501. I was at the light at East 11 in Washington when I had the green arrow to turn. That vehicle then proceeded through the light. As I looked,
he said 11 Mile in Washington. Those are both street names.
Up at the
this happened at an intersection.
Traffic light. That light was red for that driver.
With respect to your selection of citation, you elected to simply issue a ticket for impeding traffic. Is that correct?
I did, Magistrate, at that time.
And that's based on your discretion, your training, and your experience.
It is.
Thank you. You obviously have the right to rebuttal if you choose to use
Ambiance
it.
says it's the sunshine laws that let us see them in Michigan and Florida. Not so much in Michigan. It's not necessarily a sunshine law thing like Florida. It's our pretty open Zoom courts. So it's not necessarily a legal thing. It's just that our courts, since COVID, many of them broadcast from YouTube publicly. So you see a lot of stuff that way. So similar to sunshine laws, but it's not a law thing, it's just a procedural thing that our courts have decided to do that leads to a lot more public interest and eyes on our courts.
Officer Moran. Mr. Mathis, it is now your turn. What would you like the court to know, sir?
Like, you don't get as much body cam from Michigan as you do Florida, but you get a lot of court videos.
So, I have a question. Are you a judge?
That's the question you've been waiting to ask since the beginning of this trial, as if the judge is a judge? It's an interesting strategy.
Mr. Mathis, the court has already indicated it is a sworn judicial officer. It is exercising its jurisdiction lawfully over you. So questioning
Caesar Bishop, thanks for a 3-stream streak, says, is this guy a judge?
the court's authority.
I'm gonna go with yes, based on the robe.
You don't have any jurisdiction over me. I would argue you don't have any jurisdiction, okay?
Mr. Mathis, the officer has already testified as to the facts of the case. It is now your turn to testify. You can tell the court anything you wish the court to know, focusing solely on the events of the date in question. What would you like to tell the court?
The plaintiff is the city of Royal Oak. Please bring the city of Royal Oak. Where's the city of Royal Oak?
The cop was the witness for the city.
Officer is representing the city of Royal Oak, sir.
Where's the city of Royal Oak?
Are you asking where it is geographically? Or are you asking where?
Ray Geology says, my entire experience of Michigan culture is low-resolution court videos with a woman in a witch hat in the corner providing commentary. Add punch keys and lighthouses, and there you go. That's Michigan.
Where it is in
Right
terms
now.
of who's present on behalf of the
And Tim Allen on cocaine.
city of Royal Oak.
Where is the city of Royal Oak? Please bring the
Court
city.
doesn't understand your question. Are you asking where it is on a map or where is the officer?
No, I know exactly where it is on the geographic location, but where are they right now?
The officer is representing the city of Royal Oak as a sworn and certified Michigan peace officer. So,
Chitara says these Sopsits keep invoking God as if he's some kind of general manager over the judges. I'm pretty sure somewhere in the Bible says, render therefore unto Caesar the things which are Caesar's, and unto God the things that are God's, in Matthew somewhere. Indeed it does.
what else would you like to tell the court, Mr. Mathis? And please, again, the court suggests that you focus on the events of the date in question.
Okay. Well, could you please bring forth?
Have I ever been to the airport he got busted with coke? Was it the Detroit airport? That would be likely the one it probably happened at, so probably. If it was the Detroit airport, then yes.
The injured party. Was anybody
Are these people Yoopers? I don't think so.
injured?
This is not.
Oh, it was Kalamazoo? Maybe not then.
Not a tort case, Mr. Mathis. It is a case written
Well,
under the vehicle code
as I
of the
was
city of
traveling,
Royal Oak as it is adopted.
as I was traveling, the officer turned on the lights. No one was injured. So please bring forth the injured party. Based on the Constitution, the Sixth Amendment right, I have a right to face my accuser. If the plaintiff cannot come to court, then this shall be dismissed. That's
They
failure.
were trying to say Yoopers, Baha.
Mr. Mathis, is there anything else you wish the court to know?
They just spelled it wrong.
Please bring forth the injured party. If you can't bring forth the injured party, then this
Sir, it's the state, and representatives of the state can stand in for the state. The cop is doing so.
needs to be dismissed now.
Mr. Mathis, is there anything else you wish the court to know?
You guys can't bring anyone forward. As far as the injured party, no one was injured. You guys.
Mr. Mathis, I will ask you one more time. The officer is representing the city of Royal Oak. This is not a case alleging physical harm or breach of contract.
Why are you trying to charge
This is
me?
a civil case
Why are you
under
trying
the
to
Motor
charge
Vehicle
me?
Code as it was decriminalized in 1979. This is a civil matter. The burden of proof is a preponderance of the evidence. The officer has testified as to what he observed, and it is now your turn to testify as to what occurred. There is no requirement under the rules of procedure, civil, in this operation as of today, that requires a quote unquote injured party to be present. The officer has stated very clearly and fairly and plainly what he observed that day. So as to your testimony related to the date in question, is there anything else you would like the court to know?
No, it isn't. If you guys can't bring any injured party,
Very
no
well.
one injured. You guys are
Officer Moran, any rebuttal testimony?
No rebuttal testimony.
Thank you so much. Mr. Mathis, the burden of proof in a civil case is a mere preponderance of the evidence. The officer, a duly sworn and certified Michigan peace officer representing the city of Royal Oak, which is one of two cities upon which this court has jurisdiction, has put his testimony forward. There is nothing in the record that has rebutted any of it. Therefore, the court is finding you responsible for the citation as it was written. The fine for that serves $175. That is payable through the pay portal on the 44th District Court website, or you may walk a cash check or charge into the 44th District Court. Please don't
Okay, if you don't pay it, you're gonna get in trouble.
interrupt the court, sir. You may walk a cash check or charge into the 44th District Court at 400 East 11 Mile Road, Monday through Friday, between 8:30 and 4:30. That's due within 7 days, Mr. Mathis. If you take exception to the court's ruling, you may post a bond in the amount of $175 within 7 days, and the matter will be placed upon the formal hearing docket of the chief judge of the district, and at that time, the city of Royal Oak would be represented by a city prosecutor.
Oh, I'm assuming he ended up getting a warrant for not paying his thing. Okay, moving on. Let's see what we got.
It looks like it's between Mr. DeBus and Mr. Cochran. Well, I can't call, yeah. Mr. DeBus, you want to start your video? Okay, we are back on the record in 2023 TR 2777, State of Kansas versus Anthony Edward DeBus, with Jared Regier for the...
This one seems familiar. We might have seen this one before. How about this one? This is a newer one.
Or Zach Latney? Oh, where are you on Zoom?
Present.
Why are you present via Zoom? You're supposed to be here in person.
Because I had certain matters that I was taking care of this morning, which unfortunately I just wasn't able to get completed. And
oh God. You can't just say to the court, like, oh, I know I was supposed to be there today, but I just got busy, right? This isn't a priority. Like, how serious were you about me being there in person? Like, super serious or, like, medium serious? Because I am not showing up. Yikes. Nemesaur, thank you so much, so much for gifting 25 tier 1 subs. You are the most generous person. I appreciate you to no end.
I didn't know I was required to be there in person. I would have.
What do you mean? It's court. What do you mean you didn't know you were required? I'm sure they told you to be there in person.
Been there in person.
You definitely knew, because I say in person like a broken record when I give a hearing date. I do not hold hearings via Zoom. You must appear in person. The paperwork you received said you must appear in person.
Oh my God, so we're only even seeing this because this guy fucked up. Thanks, guy, for fucking up so we can see you fucking up. I appreciate you. Gitara says, I think it's funny that our cultural export from Michigan is Sovsit court cams, out-of-touch memes about how awful Detroit is, and a burning hatred for Ohio. Ohio is a fuck.
Okay, so why was the plaintiff not required to appear in person, but I actually appeared in person?
The plaintiff is right here. The plaintiff is in my courtroom.
No, I was referring to the first date, the first hearing date.
That date was not a hearing. That date was a pretrial. Everyone could appear via Zoom for the pretrial. I said for the hearing, you must appear in person. Today is a hearing date. You're not here.
How does the court plan to resolve that then? Because
I know it's how you're going to resolve it, because if you don't appear, I have to give them a default judgment.
So who are you talking to that's appearing now then?
That is the attorney. This is the attorney for the plaintiff. Where are you, sir?
You don't see me,
How
ma'am?
long is it going to take you to get here? Yeah, how long is it going to take you to get here?
Give me 10 minutes. I'll be there.
You're only 10 minutes away? You have no excuse, you asshole! What are you I thought he was gonna say he's like an hour away. You're 10 minutes from the courthouse and you didn't think it was important to show up?
Yep, I'll be there in 10 minutes. Don't even worry.
What a dumb asshole.
This is E3 Investments LLC versus Zachariah Latney, 26-01434. Appearance, please.
Attorney Catherine Gable, P81555 on behalf of the plaintiff.
Your name, sir?
Well, I believe the caption is Zach Latney.
It says Zachariah.
Zach Latney.
Okay, your name's not Zachariah?
My name's, as it appears on the lease, is Zach Latney.
No, I don't know. I'm asking if what was filed is correct.
Yeah, Zachariah.
Okay, thank you. And you don't have an attorney representing you, correct? Okay. Okay, you have not been able to come to resolution. This is for non-payment of rent?
No, Your Honor, we have not. I tried to speak with Mr. Whitney earlier, but we have no resolution.
Mr. Latney, you believe that you have a lawful reason to withhold the rent?
Yes, Your Honor, the equitable defense is cited in the answer, which should be on file with the court, Your Honor. Which can be elaborated upon today.
Okay, you can have a seat. You can call your witness.
Thanks, Your Honor. Plaintiff's call Eric Romano to the stand.
Oh, if you can get their exhibits out of your way.
May I approach?
Yeah, yep, thank you.
Okay.
You can raise your right hand, sir. Do you solemnly swear or affirm testimony you're going to give us the truth and the whole truth under penalty of perjury?
I do.
Thank you. State your first and last name within spell both.
Eric Romano, ERIC-ROMANO.
You can proceed now.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Romano, are you the owner of E3 Investments?
I am.
All right, and Mr. Romano, does E3 Investments own the property located at 1130 West Mount Hope in Lansing, Michigan?
Yes.
Okay, and what is your role at E3 Investments, Mr. Romano?
I'm the owner, president. It's me, just me.
And on September 22nd, 2023, did you enter into on behalf of E3 Investments, enter into a monthly rental agreement with Mr. Latney?
Yes.
Okay, may I approach? Mr. Romano, I have placed in front of you what is entitled monthly rental agreement. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, and is that the lease?
Is this just going to be a sob sit who thought he didn't have to pay rent, basically?
That you executed with Mr. Latney?
Yes, it is.
Okay, and can you please tell me when the lease began and when it ended?
September 22nd, 2023, and it's a month-to-month lease.
And when does the term of the lease begin each month, Mr. Romano?
On the 25th.
And when does the term of the lease end each month, Mr. Romano?
On the 24th of the next month.
Thank you. How much rent is due per term?
$1,100.
Okay, and does the lease call for late fees if rent's not paid within 7 days?
Yes, it does.
What is the late fee amount?
$50.
Okay, Mr. Romano,
he would H-Baird, but that doesn't necessarily mean that's where he was on the phone call.
Mr. Latney paid rent for the term.
Have I seen any of the gossip around the quartering recently? I've not.
August 25.
I heard he's like a lol cow now, and even chuds don't like him, which is kind of hilarious.
Through September 24.
No.
Has Mr. Latney paid?
Oh, well, didn't he supposedly get that Keno Casino fucking shitty chud show, got one of their YouTube channels banned or something, like their clip channel?
Paid rent.
They suck too, so I don't feel bad about that at all.
August 25 through September.
August 25th through September 24th. Sorry, it's a 30.
Okay.
Yeah. So, okay. The answer is no.
I think I knew what you were saying, but was he thinking years or these?
Yeah.
Got it. Got it.
Okay.
I'll clarify.
He's thinking you're talking about 23. You're talking about the term. I know what you were saying, though.
Yeah, I apologize. So Mr. Latney did not pay rent from August 25th, 2025 through September 24, 2025, correct?
Correct.
And has he paid rent for the term beginning September 25th, 2025 through October 24th, 2025?
No, he has not.
Okay. And has he paid rent for the term beginning October 25th, 2025 through November 24th, 2025?
No, he has not.
Has he paid rent for the term beginning this November 25th, 2025 through December 24, 2025?
No, he has not.
Has he paid rent for the term beginning December 25, 2025 through January 24, 2026?
No, he has not.
It leaked that he has a bull in his marriage and the right ate him alive.
Has he paid rent for the
Oh.
term beginning January 25, 2026 through February 24, 2026?
No, he has not.
And has he paid rent for the term beginning February 25, 2026?
It sucks on
through
the
March
one
24?
hand because, like, I don't give a shit about people do in their relationships and marriages, and I don't care. But on the other hand, I really want to make fun of him. Stuck between a rock and a hard place.
2026.
No, he has not.
Okay. And has he paid rent
You want to know what bull in his marriage means? It means another guy fucks his wife.
for the term
Which
beginning
is fine if they're all doing it consensually. Makes him a hypocrite, I'd argue, though.
March 25, 2026 and ending April 24, 2026?
No, he has not.
Okay. Mr. Romano, have you kept the premises in good habitable condition
Yes.
and good repair?
Yes.
Baja with 135 stream streak, thank you.
May I approach?
May.
Hydrate.
Mr. Romano, what I placed in front of you is entitled Payment Record. E3 Investments v. Zechariah Laney. You recognize this document?
Yes.
And Mr. Romano, can you explain to the court what this document is?
It's a ledger, a payment record showing rents due and late fees approved.
Mr. Romano, what is the balance for rents and late fees due today?
$9,200.
And is that
That's not nothing.
payment record a true and accurate reflection of what is due and owing under the lease with Mr. Latney?
Yes.
Objection.
What's the objection to?
Just not receiving this, and that amount is not encompassing the original complaint.
You said not receiving the ledger?
Yeah, I'm just not receiving this. Is this being submitted?
I don't know. She's not.
I'm going to move to admit it as
Okay.
exhibit 2.
Okay.
Okay, the amounts asked upon are inconsequential because they don't encompass that which is encompassing the original complaint.
You're saying that it's larger than the complaint?
Yes, ma'am.
You do understand that as the time progresses, the amount increases, correct?
So you're saying that?
Yeah, like, for example, if I
No, I
continue,
understand the
if I
question.
continue this until next month, May 1st, the amount's gonna grow.
Precisely. Okay, so the question then becomes, to what extent do those amounts? So essentially, that which is originally
Your
complained upon.
objection to the exhibit.
The exhibit is that he never received it.
Yeah, I never received it.
And that he says that
I'm just
he
not
thinks the
receiving
amounts
notices.
are,
That is a clear objection I'm having.
the amounts are off.
Yeah.
I'm gonna respond and say that's not an objection. It's an exhibit that's going to be admitted, and if he wants to ask questions about it, he can do that when it's his turn.
Okay, it's a copy of a ledger that you keep in the regular course of your business?
Yes.
Okay, objections overruled, it's admitted.
And I'm sorry, I guess I need to retract. I would move to admit the lease as exhibit 1.
And it's admitted.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Romano, again, I'm sorry, just for clarification, how much is owed for rent and late fees as of today?
$9,200.
Okay, and Mr. Romano, does that ledger include any court costs in that $9,200?
No.
Okay. And as to court costs, Mr. Romano, is it correct that you would be seeking those costs in the judgment today?
Yes.
Okay, and no further questions, Your Honor?
Do you have any questions for the
Yes, Your Honor, I do.
students? Proceed.
Allow me a brief second. Cross-examine the witness.
Okay.
Can I get my questions together? Is that an issue?
No, I just told you you can
Oh, no, it
cross-examine the
seemed like
witness.
she had a complaint. I'm just like, what's the issue? All right, okay. What
Is he gonna read a statement off his phone?
okay, this is gonna be my question. What date did you allegedly engage in the lease with the plaintiff, Mr. Romano?
He is the plaintiff.
With the defendant, Mr. Romano? Excuse me.
Jack, that's asked and answered, but go ahead.
He has answered that already.
The 22nd of September, 2023.
Okay, these proceedings, on what date did your attorney file the complaint initiating these proceedings?
That I don't know. I can refer that question to my attorney.
So I can take judicial notice of when it was filed. I have it.
It
was filed with the court, it looks like on February 20th, 2026.
Okay, all right. February 20th, 2026?
Correct.
Okay.
Actually, February 23rd is the stamp on the side, but it was dated by the attorney February 20th, 2026.
This action was filed?
That's when the complaint was filed.
Thank you, Your Honor. I do have more questions on point and which are relevant. Okay, I wonder for the record, is your phone number, Mr. Romano?
But you don't have to put it on the record. His phone number. You can ask the last 4 digits if you want to confirm.
Thank you, I appreciate it. Does the last 4 digits of your phone number enter 9908?
Yes.
And did you text the defendant regularly for means of communication by way of payment to be received from you, from the tenant?
Where is he gonna go with this?
Yes.
So you and the tenant regularly texted with that phone number ending in 9908?
Yes.
Okay. Prior to initiating this suit, did the tenant text you respecting amounts owed and that were paid to you?
I'm sorry, can you repeat your question?
Prior to your attorney initiating this suit, prior to counsel initiating this suit, did you and the defendant communicate regularly by way of that phone number ending in 9908?
Yes.
Thank you. Okay. No last question. A few more questions, Your Honor.
Thank you, Attorney.
Thank you. Do you recall communication taking place between you and the defendant on or about March 4th of this year, 2026?
No, I don't.
You don't recall?
I don't recall it.
Okay, so you don't recall a text message taking place between you and the defendant wherein the defendant gave you formal notice by way of text message?
Objection asked and answered. He said he doesn't recall the messages.
Okay, no problem.
Objection sustained.
Quick question for you. Are you aware of any text message that took place between you and the defendant on March 15th, 2026 of this year? Is it your response to this question that it?
He said no.
No. Okay,
okay.
Follow up, please.
Yeah.
Okay. You're not aware of any communication that took place. Since you're not aware, this is my question, since you're not aware of any communication that took place on March 15th, 2026 between you and the defendant, there will be no cell phone records wherein confirming you received the same?
Are you asking me, are there cell phone records? Because he's saying he's not aware. He's not saying it didn't happen. He's just saying he's not aware.
He's not aware, okay. My question is that because he's saying he's not aware, then there would not be any cell phone records affirming that he's actually read the messages which he claims he's not aware of.
Are you saying that no conversation took place or you just don't remember?
I'm saying I don't remember.
Yeah, so he's not disputing that there was text messages.
Okay.
He just doesn't remember.
Are you aware that on March 15th, 2026, you were expressly appointed as trustee privately by the defendant?
You were appointed as trustee. Here's the bullshit.
I'm not aware.
Okay, you're not aware of that. It's fine. Just give me a second. See if I get anything more relevant for the witness, and I'm gonna let him go. Okay. Oh yes, this is actually very poignant.
Is he gonna say that he like told him to pull money from his SESTK account that sovereign citizens believe they have, or what?
Prior to you and the defendant engaging in a lease, did you require any criminal or background check for the defendant to engage in? And was there any documentation that you took to that effect?
Objection, compound, and form.
Compound meaning you asked two questions in one, so can you break it up?
Sure, no problem. So I can like.
You can rephrase it, but only ask one question at a time.
No problem. Prior to engaging in the lease, which is subject to this underlying suit, Did you and the defendant engage in a creditor background check?
I don't remember.
Is it your testimony today that you never required a social security number to be provided by the tenant?
That's not what he said so far.
I don't remember. That was 2.5 years ago.
Okay, so
again, where could he be going with this?
With text messages.
You didn't check if I had a criminal history, so I don't owe you rent. Like, what is this about?
I'm gonna object as to
He
relevance.
doesn't remember, so you're gonna have an opportunity to give testimony. If you want to share any of that, you can do that.
No problem.
You don't gotta get him to get it out of.
No, that's,
yeah.
I mean, I'm just.
He said he doesn't remember, so he's not
I
disputing
gotta lay a
it.
foundation though.
No, you don't. If you want to tell me all that during your testimony, we'll allow.
I don't know if he doesn't remember unless I ask Your Honor.
I get it, but him remembering or not, it really has nothing to do with whatever point you're trying to make with that.
Well, if he said he remembered, it would actually affirm the point I'm making, is what I'm getting at.
Okay, well, he said he doesn't remember,
Okay, no problem.
and you're trying to re-ask him in another way. He's not going to change his question.
No problem, no problem. Okay.
Or his answer.
That's the witness, Your Honor. I'm done.
You can redirect if necessary.
Your Honor, redirect is not necessary. Thank you.
Any other witnesses?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you. You want to give testimony, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
Raise your right hand. You solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give us the truth and the whole truth under penalty of perjury.
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
Thank you. Tell me why you believe you don't lawfully owe rent since September of 2025. I'm sorry, August 25, or is it? Well, I guess it's September 25th of 2025. Yeah, but the testimony was you have not paid rent since September 25th of 2025.
Yes, Your Honor.
So tell me why you lawfully can withhold rent, or why you believe that.
Well, first and foremost, I would direct the court's attention to the answer, which is on file.
You have to tell me your reason. I've read your answer, but that's not evidence.
Okay, no problem. I'll give you, okay, so on March 15th, let me give you the whole layout since I'm on the record and I can get it all out.
Oh boy.
Right? We get it all out and I'm gonna testify. I'm giving my testimony right now. So prior to
you don't need to say you're giving testimony right now during your testimony.
engaging in this lease with Mr. Romano, he required, and I have text messages to that effect, which he's received, he's read, but it's okay. I have text messages to that effect between me and him, wherein prior to engaging in this lease, he specifically required a social security number. And in requiring said social security number, it was for the purpose of a credit or background check. Said social security number was reflective of the principal obliger on the lease. This is antecedent to the lease that is signed and in the record and encompassed in her complaint. Okay, said social security number that was taken from him is not reflective of myself. It's not reflective of myself with respect to being obligated regarding this. This is just a primary claim that I'm making. I have a secondary claim, which is
Sir, you signed a lease.
an equitable defense.
He didn't ask for your social security number for the social security number to become the tenant. He asked for it so we could do a background check. You, the flesh and blood living man, signed a lease agreement.
Which is layered onto this. Just bear with me, I'm not in court.
I'm listening.
Thank you, I appreciate it. He was noticed of suretyship and subrogation rights with respect to the social security number taken and reflective of the principal obliger on the lease. He was noticed of a legal distinction being made with respect to the principal obliger and myself, as a matter of fact, by way of documentation provided to him in these text messages. Now,
Are you saying that was the nature of the text messages you sent in March?
yes, Your Honor, I am. That's precisely what I'm saying.
Okay.
Actually, these text messages go back to February. Secondarily, with respect to the suretyship and subrogation claims, to which I stand as subrogee to the
One sec, I used to know subrogation. I gotta look this up. That's like the giving of a legal right to another, right? Like a right that you have. Okay, yes, subrogation, legal doctrine, allows a party to step into the legal shoes of another legal party. Okay, yeah.
Principal obliger underneath the lease, who is...
Gitara says, to clarify, this is because he didn't pay rent, and he's claiming that because he provided a social security number, he doesn't have to pay the rent because he's the living man and not that number. That is what it sounds like. Yes. Harold Ebbleman, you want me to look up what I just looked up? Subrogation? Okay.
To whom I stand as subrogate with respect to the principal obliger on the lease. Him being the creditor or the subrogor, he was noticed that my suretyship and subrogation rights were transferred to him in trust for my sole benefit. What I am saying is, prior to even showing up to that first hearing 2 weeks ago, he was noticed of and read text messages wherein he was expressly appointed as a trustee and owes me fiduciary duties as sole beneficiary prior to initiating this suit. That is my purely equitable defense that I'm asserting here today.
Okay.
As a result thereof, and as a result of those allegations of fact, which bear on this immediate case, Mr. Romano and E3 Investments LLC, by way of
Subrogation, the substitution of one party for another whose debt the party pays, entitling the paying party to rights, remedies, or securities that would otherwise belong to the debtor. Subrogate is to substitute a person for another regarding a legal right or claim. Is he saying that he Uno reversed card the landlord in terms of their legal rights to collect on the debt? Okay. Sure, I might owe you money, but I have taken the legal right from you to sue me for that money, so now you owe me money. Checkmate. Subrogated, motherfucker.
a trust indenture, which I can show this court and my phone number, stands with respect to me as my trustee. And he owes me a duty of undivided loyalty as my trustee, as is my allegation of fact today. And I am the sole beneficiary with respect
I don't think you unilaterally declare someone a trustee without their consent of any sort of thing.
That trust that I can provide the court. He owes me fiduciary duties and a duty to account with respect to that which he was entrusted with, specifically and prior to engaging in these proceedings. And he was noticed of that. Not only that, but as sole beneficiary, equity regards me as the true owner. And my sole defense right here and now is that he stands in relation to me as a trustee and a fiduciary, owing me duty sacred in equity, to which I can't freely enforce in probate court. And as this court has been made aware of, this court doesn't have jurisdiction over those.
I'm your trustee now? Fuck.
Exclusively equitable claims of beneficiary of trust relations. But that is my equitable defense that I'm asserting here today, that he was granted a fund in trust, that he possesses said fund, and that as fiduciary, he owes me a duty to account as sole beneficiary.
That's
and that
hilarious.
said accounting that he owes me directly conflicts with the legal relations that he has as landlord in this underlying suit. And I am now asserting there is a conflict and variance between the rules of equity and the rules of law with respect to the same matter. And that owing me an exclusively equitable duty of trusteeship.
That said he owes you a duty of trusteeship?
Yes, he does.
Okay. Any other argument for why you don't owe, you think you...
She's over it. She's heard the word salad. She's ready to rule, I think.
And live in his property for free?
He's been granted the fund to which he must account. These are equitable rights.
You granted him some funds?
Yes, I granted him the
Where?
fund. By the way, I'll show you right here. Got you right here, Your Honor.
I got you. Let me pull up my gibberish.
Right
Show
here.
his attorney where the funds were sent to her client.
Are you?
Excuse me, Judge. Obviously, as the trustee of my SESDK account, he could have withdrawn the funds for my benefit at any time.
Is the court saying, as a matter of fact, that he's not?
Show me where you're going to show me evidence where you sent him the funds.
Yes.
Show him to the attorney first,
Thank
where
you.
he would send his funds.
Got you right here. Got you right here.
He does not, in
Give me
fact,
1 second.
got her right here.
Pulling up the text. You gonna see?
Your Honor, if I may, this is rent payments for the money we're claiming due and owing.
Those are the only funds
Not-
I'm looking at.
Not previous.
Yeah,
Correct.
so,
Okay,
Is
just
this
for
court
clarification.
asserting that I do not have that equitable defense asserted is not
I don't,
relevant?
well, let me be very clear here. I read your answer and I gave you ample opportunity to make a record here. I don't really know if there is an underlying issue that requires a competency evaluation.
Not the response you want to hear to your to your testimony.
Or if you Googled something that made you think that these things were lawful reasons to live in someone's property and withhold rent, you speak over me, you will be remanded for contempt in court. I don't know what's going on, but none of the things that you say or have said in this courtroom as it relates to a lawful reason to withhold someone's rent makes any sense. For you to sit here and vehemently assert that the landlord, after telling you that you are filing a notice to quit and vacate his property for failure to pay rent, now owes you some duty other than to collect the rent from you, sounds bat crazy. Bat crazy. You don't.
I've never heard a judge so almost say the word shit in court.
You sounds bad.
Do I have a link to this video? Yes, I can send it to you. I'll just do it via chat here. Hold on. I can give it to you later if you want to.
Crazy. That's crazy. You don't live in someone's house.
Does anyone know where the bats are at?
For free. You show me where you paid the rent or that you have a lawful reason, not some cockamamie story you didn't came up with. Your answer looked like you cut and pasted something from a probate court proceeding from probably a sovereign citizen, crossed out what you didn't think applied and signed your name to it. We don't run circuses in here. This is a courtroom of law. You understand me?
May I respond?
If you have proof where you paid rent, show it to her. Otherwise, judgment for the plaintiff.
Your Honor, may I respond?
Do you have proof?
I'm trying.
Do you have proof?
You asked me to do two things.
Well, I asked you one thing. Ask you one thing.
This is good.
Do you have proof?
Yes, I do.
Show her the proof.
Got you right here.
I got you right
I was
here.
in the middle of getting that
Sovereign
earlier,
citizen
No,
gibberish.
listen here. Show her the proof because she wanted to clarify what you were about to show her. Okay. I don't want to see no text messages of no. I notified him of some trust. That don't work here. There ain't. We're not dealing with trust. We're not dealing with probate. We're dealing with possession of property. You signed a lease.
I know I'm at law.
You signed a lease. You agreed to pay the money. I don't care if he did a background check or if he didn't. I don't care if you gave him your social security number or if you gave him your telephone number. You agreed to pay this rent. You've been holding over his property since August of 2025. And I want to see proof that you either have a lawful reason to withhold it or proof that you turned it over and he's just mistaken.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. My mandamus gonna go in tomorrow too. Don't worry.
You can find a mandamus or anything else you want to file. I really do not. I promise you, I don't care.
It's okay. So it's
oh my God! Do you see the plaintiff attorney? She looks like she's she's shocked. Do you look at her? She looks like she can't even fucking deal.
Quite lengthy text. That's why I'm trying to find it. But I'm.
Is this evidence?
I think she's scared for him. Like I think she's genuinely scared for this guy.
Are you sending his past due rent?
Yes, he's in possession.
Okay.
He's in possession of it. Yes.
You can show the attorney for her review.
Yes, 100%. And I'm standing on my equitable offense regardless. What are you reading right there?
It says declaration of trust and appointment of trustee. There's no
judgment in favor of the plaintiff. You can be. Excused. Bye. Bye.
Yeah, I know. My mandamus going in too.
File whatever you want.
Yeah.
You have paperwork.
I do, Your Honor. Is it the possession 427?
The writ date
Yes.
is the 27th.
Thank
That
you.
is correct.
This judge is great. I like her.
Your Honor, do you need to prorate rent on the record or amounts due for the
Yes,
money judgment? Okay. For possession, Your Honor, he owes $8,800 in rent plus $400 in late fees plus costs in the amount of $174.80 for a total of $9,374.87. And for the money judgment, Your Honor, which has been prorated through today at $36.67 a day. Rent plus late fees is $8,870.07 with costs of $174.87 So, it's $174.87.
He's gonna have to get brought in again, I bet. I don't think he's gonna pay it.
For the record.
No, Your Honor.
I have a feeling he's gonna be
He
like,
does
this
turn
court was unfair. She didn't even listen to my thing.
Recess of 5 minutes.
That's pretty funny that she needed a recess after that. That was beautiful. All right. So thank you, everyone. That's another Sovereign Citizen stream for the books. I always have lots of fun watching these people with you guys and talking about how silly it is. So thanks for hanging out. Appreciate y'all. Gitara with 50 bits says, I mean, even if there was some kind of trust in his name, he'd have to actually prove that such a trust exists and exists as a legal entity that's capable of being responsible for the lease. And the landlord would have had to be aware of the trust signing the lease at the outset, and since the trust Sovsits talk about is nebulous at best, he wouldn't be able to prove his innocence here. Yeah, it's all bullshit. Alright, so let's see who we're gonna raid. Like I said, I have to work all day tomorrow, unfortunately. I have a 10-hour shift on a Saturday, which is unfortunate, but, you know, gotta pay bills. That's life. So I won't be seeing you tomorrow, but I will see you Sunday for a regular stream and a patron and YouTube member only stream. So if you want to be a part of that, make sure you check out the Patreon at patreon.com/HannahReloaded and become a member, or become a paid member on YouTube. All right, who we gonna raid? Does anyone have someone they want me to raid? Because there aren't a ton of people live right now that I'm, you know, normally listen to or anything, or I haven't raided in a while. Anyone? Any raid opportunities for people who deserve it? Just declare your job unlawful Admiralty flag? That'd be nice. Unfortunately, my boss and coworkers are all very nice, so I actually care about them. It's the nicest boss I've ever had, which is shocking. Someone says Scootish. That was the first one I think someone said, so let's take a look. All right, we can certainly raid this person. So have a wonderful evening, everyone. I'll see you soon, and if I don't see you for some reason, have a great weekend. Oh, and our 420 stream's coming up on, what day is that? Monday? So prepare for that. Get some stuff together if you partake. If not, I guess you'll just watch me. All right, good night, everyone.